Tonight, I shall play Russian roulette, live in this barn behind me. One gun, one bullet, and every intention of being alive at the end of the show. As ever, no actors or stooges are used in making this program. This evening I will play Russian roulette live with one person chosen from the 12,000 who applied to load the gun. Tonight you'll see how I selected that one individual, and I'll demonstrate some of the tricks and techniques that I will use to survive tonight's performance. Before we begin, I should point out that this evening's event takes place in a controlled environment with the full cooperation and supervision of firearms experts. Russian roulette should not, under any circumstances, be copied. It is extremely dangerous. If I'm not 100% certain that I can pull it off, I won't pull the trigger. I am sat here surrounded by videotapes from people that love the show and wanted to apply for Russian roulette. There are 500 of them. Place is a mess, and I'm sat going through them. I'm looking for someone to play with. It all started with a trailer we put out. This was asking for people to go to a website and fill in a form and apply if they wanted to take part in the Russian roulette. Your task will be to load a single bullet into a revolver. My task will be not to die. 12,000 people responded to that. We got back in touch with about 1,500 of them and asked them to send in tapes. I am now sat with the result of that process, 500 tapes.
Everyone's heard of Russian roulette, but nobody ever plays it, do they?
I think for me it's very much an involvement in a new experience.
It's making history. It's saying this happened here now, and I want to witness that place and time.
Derren Brown is the master, and I'd love to see him in action.
Out of these 500 tapes, I need to find 100 people to invite to London. Those 100 people will come, meet me, I get to meet them, and they will undergo a series of tests as a group to whittle them down from the 100 down to 5 people. Those 5 people will then come with me to our secret location where the game will be played, and just before the game's played they'll whittle down to one person. There's one person out of the 12,000 people that applied, out of the several million people that watched that advert. I can try and describe these processes to you, but in the end it is just an instinct because all these things become unconscious. There are things in the way they dress, or the way they look, the way they make eye contact or don't, or even the way they talk, or they remind you of somebody, which you bring all that baggage to it. In the end, I just see them and I feel them and I know that's the right sort of person or it's the wrong sort of person. It's the only way I can describe it. There are 6 chambers and 1 bullet in the game of Russian roulette. One of the first tricks I learned was to tell under which of 6 numbered cups someone had placed an object by having them look at each cup in turn or count from 1 to 6. The Russian roulette game is simply an expansion of the same game. You take your bracelet off for a second? Yeah. Sure. Okay, thank you very much indeed. 2 cups.
Yeah.
I'll look the other way. You take your bracelet, you put the bracelet under one of the cups.
Yeah.
All right? And you feel free to move them around a bit so I can't, tell which one it's gone under, but I'll look the other way. Go.
It's not looking over here, mate. Looking at the floor.
Done?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Let me tell you why I'm hoping you just put that under number 1, all right? Because what people tend to do, even numbers are kind of warm and comfortable. People tend to go for even numbers. I'm hoping you're going to try and catch me out and put it under number 1. That's what I hope. Okay. No, that's great. It's terrific. Right, yeah, it means this is easier for me because you're going to try and catch me out, which actually in a way makes you more predictable.
Yep.
So it also means I will try and do this without, all right, I'm not even going to try and influence you or use any language tricks to manipulate you or anything. It's absolutely fair, all right? We'll do it with 4 cups.
All right.
Put it under any one of the 4.
Okay.
Completely free choice, all right?
Yep.
It's up to you. Go.
That's fair.
Free choice. All right. Is he done?
Yeah, it's fine.
You done it?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Look at me. Let me just tell you first, all right? I'm hoping it's number 1 again, specifically because I told you the first time that you've done something that everybody tends to do. It's that feeling like you felt you were obvious. So the second time, of course, you're going to want to catch me out, and the easiest way of doing that is to keep it in the same one a second time. Yeah, excellent. Again?
No, I give up.
No, one more time. We'll do it with 6 cups.
Go on, all right, let's go.
We'll do it with 6 cups. Now, look, feel free when you've done this to move them around. I don't want you thinking that there's anything to do with the way the cups are pointing, all right? So you can change the numbers around, you can do whatever you like.
No problem.
Let me just make that absolutely fair and evenly spaced. Okay?
Yep.
Go. Interesting. You done?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Let's just think. You did 1 twice in a row, you were trying to catch me out.
Yeah.
Just look at me, just count out loud from 1 to 6. Take your hands out your pockets, just look at me. Right. Relax. Nice and slowly, clearly, from 1 to 6, go.
1.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
4. 5.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. Gonna turn over all the ones it's not under, all right?
All right.
I'll turn over 5.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Maybe that one? Yeah.
Boy,
Thank you so much indeed.
that is quality. That is I absolutely done everything I could to see if this guy was somehow trying to cheat or if there was anything going on, and there's nothing going on. That's the first time I've been shocked like that in my life. Just baffled, as I said. I'm absolutely baffled.
I asked them on the tape to say what their average day is, beginning with the words, "My average day is."
My average day is...
It's so interesting how this shows people's self-perception, their self-promotion, how they want to promote themselves, and their self-esteem.
My average day...
Have a shower.
Get ready.
I like to do a bit of stair diving.
Music. I enjoy listening to.
I love gardening.
Feeding Murphy. Feeding myself.
Read and go to sleep.
The other thing on the tape was to dance. I said at the end of the tape, I want you to do a dance, just 10-second dance, but you have to do it. If you don't, you are eliminated. And of course, that's about their bravery, commitment, and of course, for me, it's hilarious to watch. But that is embarrassing for people, so I wouldn't dream of showing any of those clips. So I invited my 100 favourites to London for a day of fun and games.
It's going to be a piece of television history, and to be able to say that I'm a part of that, that's why I applied.
I am fascinated by what he does, and I want to know how he does it.
The boy's a nutter, and I just want to meet him and find out whether it's just daftness or genius or something else driving him.
I'm feeling nervous, and I keep looking at other people, and my belly's going.
You don't know what he's looking for, that's the problem.
I'd prefer to leave quickly rather than get into the last 10. I think if you got down to the last 10 or even 6th person, that would be quite nasty.
It's not a talent show kind of situation where I'm in competition with everybody else. Everyone's just basically here, showing who they are. If we can be of use to Derren, fantastic. If not, then thanks for the day.
Morning. Thank you very much for coming. In a moment, I'm going to get you all to follow me through into another room. There are exactly 100 of you here. And you're going to undergo a series of tests, psychological games, if you like, to whittle you down from 100 to 5. And those 5 people will then come with me to our secret location, which I can tell you now is Barbados. It's not. I just made that up. It's not Barbados. It's not Barbados. The games will be ruthless, and some of you will be out within moments of walking into the other room. I'm aware a lot of you have travelled far, so I want to apologise for that now, because when we're in the room, I won't necessarily be able to be very civil, okay? So, I'm going to come down, and I would like you to follow me through to the other room. When you're in the other room, I want you to take a seat, wherever feels comfortable, and as quickly as you can. Later tonight, I'll play Russian roulette in this barn behind me. So far, you've seen how I whittled 12,000 applicants down to 100, and here's how a further 95 of them were eliminated. Let it come through, find a chair as quickly as you can in the room, please. Pass the message down.
Okay, so the first round is as follows. There are 100 of those. There are only 90 chairs. So the first 10 people that don't find a chair will be eliminated and will be out of the game.
Quick as you can, grab a seat, please. Is that all the seats taken? Yes. Thank you, that was round one. There are 100 of you, there are only 90 seats. Those of you not quick enough or keen enough to get a seat, I'm afraid, have eliminated yourselves already from the game. Thank you very much for taking part. If you'd like to make your way back through the doors. Thank you very much. Right, those of you laughing in the back row, you're also eliminated from the game. The back row personality, unassertive, nervous, not interested in you, I'm afraid. You're going to have to go. I'm terribly sorry. If you'd like to make your way again through the doors. And you can take the front row with you. You're all way too eager to shoot me in the head. If you'd like to make your way back through the doors. Thank you for taking part.
Really stupid. It was such an obvious mistake to make.
You expect a few tricks and didn't expect it to be quite this dirty, though.
We were very lazy. We were just ambling along and he's got to get cracking, so it was a fair comment, really.
I'll remember next time how ruthless Derren Brown actually is.
Rest of you, you've got 3 minutes to take your chairs and form 3 rows along the long side of the room, facing into the middle of the room. Do that now, thank you. All relaxed? Yeah? Good. Robert, where have you come from?
North London.
North London, good to see you. Edward?
Ipswich.
Ipswich. Yeah, you're eliminated. If you'd like to... No, I'm joking. A golden envelope I'm going to place here on the chair. We're going to play a game, and the game is called Cross the Room. And in the game of Cross the Room, you decide whether or not you want to stay where you're sat or whether you want to cross the room. Then, after a number of you have crossed the room or stayed here, somebody will open the envelope. The envelope contains a message. It either says that everybody that crossed the room is eliminated, or it says that everybody that stayed here was eliminated. It's as simple as that. I'm going to point out some people who must cross. Stand for me, Stuart. Natalie. Elizabeth. David. Francis. Stuart. Daniel, you're going to cross. Edward, you're going to cross. Philip. These people must cross. Have a look at them. Are these people I want to keep, or are these people I want to eliminate? This is the only clue you're going to get. Sit down again for me. By crossing, are you eliminating yourself, or are you keeping yourself in the game? I'm going to give you 5 minutes to make that decision. A maximum of 35 people can cross. That's half of you. Your 5 minutes starts now. Let's play Cross the Room. Seats at the back. I swear to God, if you cross the room and sit on that side, you're through to the next round. Four, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is your 5 minutes up. The chap with the envelope, would you please stand for me? Thank you, Daniel. Open up the envelope. Inside is a folded piece of paper. In your nicest, clearest voice, will you read out what that says inside?
I'm terribly sorry, but all the people who did not cross are eliminated. Everyone on this side has won. Simple as that.
Let me explain. The point of that was I needed people that would respond to the suggestion of crossing over the room, people that would simply obey that command that was there. I'm terribly sorry you didn't do that. I'm going to ask you to leave, but thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations, all of you. What I'd like you to do is to take your chairs and form 7 rows of 5 in the centre of the room with spaces in between. And then when you've done that, if you can go to the back of the room, grab a sheet of card and a marker pen, then come and sit back down. Thank you very much. If you can do that now for me.
We had a choice whether we could sit across the room or not, and I moved. And then I moved back again, and it turns out that I moved to the wrong side.
It's a wonderful way to lose, actually. Because I'd rather not be suggestible than go through.
Right, so you all have a card and a marker pen. What I'd like you to do for me now is to draw a face. All right, now you can interpret that in any way you like, but you need to make sure the face you draw, A, is large and clear, but also that it has some distinguishing feature, something about it, idiosyncratic enough that you'll be able to recognize it later on. I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that. Large and clear. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Please hold it up against like this so I can't see it as I turn around. I'm going to ask you in a moment to pass them up to the front. Keep them face down. I'm going to ask one of you, just caught my eye, chap at the back, hang on to yours, all right? The rest of them, if you can pass them all forward so they end up with the person at the front of your column. The person at the front of the column who ends up with them, just give them a little mix around. And if you can pass them along when you're done, and again, as you get them, feel free to mix them around a little bit more. Thanks, Jamie, that's great. Okie doke, thank you. Nope. Interesting. No. Nope, psychopath. Nymphomaniac. The way that we draw faces says so much about the way we see ourselves and the way we see each other. So, okay, I'm looking at one here now. What this drawing says is noise. Nobody bat-eyed. Let me just show you. The marks here, they're like sound marks. It's the mouth and the shouting. You can see someone who's energetic, yeah, because of the lines, because of all this, and somebody who works with sound, who works with loud music. Mo, is this yours? Is that your drawing? Yeah, it is your drawing. Okay, this one here, this one is all about looking. Again, nobody bat an eyelid, please. Let me just show you. There are 2 things here. First of all, I said this is the eyes that somebody would draw who works in the visual field. It's also, it looks animated. It looks like a cartoon character. These are also the eyes of a dog lover. Who had the spaniel called Ralphie? That was you, James. Yes, is this your drawing? Yeah, and you do, don't you? You work in graphic...
Yeah, motion.
Motion graphics, exactly, yeah, fantastic. Excellent. So there's a guy at the back. Would you stand up for me? Don't let me see your drawing, just hold it against your chest. All right. The first questions I start to ask are, will Daniel be self-obsessed enough to draw a reflection of himself or one of me? You've got a dark sort of look that you obviously like. You're wearing an earring? I can't really see from here. Or 2. You got, yeah. And there'll be some sort of... I'm tempted to give it a goatee, but I think not. Evil face, dark eyebrows, grin, earring. Will you turn it around? Show us all clearly. Not far off. Thank you, then. All right, all those of you whose pictures are now on there, including you, Dan, just stand for me. Congratulations, you're all through. The rest of you, I'm afraid, I'm going to ask you to go home. Thank you ever so much. Round of applause for them, please.
Maybe my picture was over-elaborate. I think he was looking for sort of clarity.
Well, I was a bit gutted because he put my drawing on the board and then took it down again, so it's a bit, but at that point I didn't know whether that was a good thing or a bad thing.
I thought, you know, really in with a chance now and it's all going so well, so really disappointed.
Okay, I'm going to come and split you into groups of 3. So have you three as a group, that's great. If you can move around here, David, and if you three come out here, I'll put you there with Jamie. James, if you come over here and swap with Sharon. Daniel, if you can come around here with these two, can you come forward for me? I'm just going to write down the names of some of you. Okay. I'm going to give you a few minutes to decide which person from your group will now be eliminated. Put your case to the other two as to why you should stay. Over to you in your own time. Thank you.
I would like to stay in a bit, Dave.
Well, I quite like the short single touches, but they're too little, I think, for the show. It gives so much fun.
So are we supposed to be like making a case to stay, or am I supposed to say, well, you should go because you have glasses on?
I'm very grateful for getting this far. I'm quite happy if these you two you want to go for it.
Why don't we just see who we think, and the person that has the most votes is the person.
I'm not really that bothered.
Are you happy with that as well?
That's fine.
James, you're a hero.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. Can I ask the person, please, who's being eliminated from this group to stand? Your name is?
Daniel Love.
Can I ask the person who's being eliminated from this group to stand?
Warren.
From that group? Your name is?
Jamie.
The person who's being eliminated from this group, please stand. Your name?
James.
And lastly, the person being eliminated from this group, please stand. Daniel. What this is survival of the fittest, but it's also survival of the shrewdest. It's quite easy when you're in groups of 3 for 2 of you to gang together and vote the third person out. Now, in terms of the sort of person that I want sat opposite me across the table when I've got a loaded gun, do I want a shrewd, calculating opportunist? No. I'm after people that are more modest and compliant, and the sort of people that would allow themselves to be eliminated in a game like this. So that is David, Warren, Jamie, Daniel, and James. Which is why, when I put you into your groups, the 5 names of the people, I want you to come with me were Daniel, Warren, Jamie, David, and James. Congratulations, you 5. You are coming with me.
Sick, annoyed, destructive. One of our teammates decided to volunteer himself straight away. It dawned on me straight afterwards exactly what was happening, by which time he got his foot in the door, and that was that.
Make us proud. I'm really excited because Warren went through, so I was really happy about that because it was hard to do that voting thing.
He's written down the names that he wanted, and it proved to be right, so I think he knew what sort of people he was looking for anyway.
Congratulations, first of all, obviously. But I just want to have a moment with you before we go any further. I need to know that you are aware of what's in store, that any one of you will have to load a bullet into a revolver, hand the revolver to me, I'll put the gun against my head, and I will be risking my life on my ability to read from you your unconscious signals. If you don't want to be in that position, you can absolutely say so now, and you can walk away, and that's absolutely fine. But I need to know that you're absolutely happy with this before we go any further. Yeah, you with it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, then it's an absolute pleasure to have you on board, James. Daniel.
Cheers, Derren.
Jamie, Warren, and Daniel. Thank you so much. Very soon, you'll see me choose the person who'll load the gun. And to prepare, we all went to a firing range. Under British law, you're not allowed to fire a live round unless you are a qualified armourer. This is why the live game has to take place overseas. Our armourer wishes to remain anonymous throughout the show.
This is a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum revolver, okay? If you push the cylinder opening catch forward and push out with your hand from underneath, the cylinder will open. To load the weapon, take a cartridge. This one is a dummy cartridge, okay? It has a red end. The ones that we will use on the day will not be painted red. Okay, they will be live rounds. We then put the cartridge into the weapon. We then close the cylinder like so and lock it forward. I'm now going to unload it and make it safe. As you cock the gun, you can see the cylinder rotates. There are some numbers painted onto the cylinder so that you will know which cylinder you put the bullet in. Okay, what I'd like to move on to now is for you gentlemen to load the gun. If you'd like to come around first, sir. Okay, Derren, if you'd like to just move slightly out of the way. So if you'd like to pick the gun up, keeping it pointed in a safe direction, open the weapon up then. Okay, and I would like you to put a cartridge in chamber number 2. And then close it up. Put a blank in cylinder number 5. That's good, okay. Close it up. Cylinder number 3. Blank cartridge in cylinder number 4. Cylinder number 6. Just put it in. Close it up.
Some people might think I could play Russian roulette safely with a blank bullet. Our armourer took us outside to demonstrate the damage a blank causes at close range.
Here we have the blank round, and we're now going to load the gun. To reproduce Derren firing a blank against his head, this is what happens. This is the entry hole. This is the exit hole. Blown the top off the bottle. So as you can see, blanks can be just as dangerous at close range as a live round.
As it became increasingly real for the 6 of us, our armourer loaded a live round.
Here we have the live round. I'm loading the bullet into number 3. Number 3. Okay. And I'm now closing the chamber. As you saw from the gun being fired, there's no flash. It's very different from as you see it in the movies. Any questions to that? Anything at all?
The next test was to see how accurately I could predict their behaviour by this point. We're going to play a game. The game is word association. You all know the game. Yes, someone says a word, you say a word, but you would instinctively connect with it. Any hesitation, any repetition, you're out, and I want you just to take a seat on one of those over there, any chair that you like. Daniel, I'll start with you. Your starting word is friendly.
Unfriendly.
Rubbish. Rubbish, James, go take a seat. All right, start again. Jamie, your starting word is dull.
Boring.
Passive.
Active.
Sub. Above.
Below.
Around.
Before. After.
Take a seat. Warren? Ridiculous.
Amazing.
Clever.
Thick.
Thin.
Skinny.
Fat.
Heavy.
Large.
Big.
Tiny.
Small.
Minute.
Infinitesimal.
Minuscule.
Go and take a seat. Okay, just 2 of you left, head to head. Jamie, boring.
Dull.
Ah, repetition. Go take a seat. Which makes Warren our winner. If you'd like to take a seat as well, Warren, either one. Well done, and congratulations, Warren. Interesting that none of you sat in the black chair, that the black was left free. That's the one that would attract me most. That would be my chair out of the 6. In fact, James, if you want to just pull out from underneath, there's an envelope. You just take it out and show the camera what that says, and then place it on the chair. It says Derren's chair. Although you're probably now wondering what it says under your own chairs. Daniel L. Daniel Love, will you just take that out for me? Open it up, show the camera. Daniel L's chair. In fact, all of you, just pull out the envelopes. Daniel P's chair. James, open it up, show the camera. James's chair. Jamie's chair.
Price elimination.
That'll be Warren's chair. And you'll also notice that you've arranged yourselves into perfect alphabetical order, going through Daniel L, Daniel P, Derren for me, James, Jamie, and Warren. Congratulations, you five. You are fitting into these patterns I need absolutely perfectly. Well done. Thank you.
It would appear that we're all falling into Derren's master plan, and he's starting to read us rather well.
More confused by why I was thinking the colour green the moment I walked into the room.
The fact that I was wearing a yellow t-shirt might have played a part in it, but I suppose I could have picked any colour at the time.
The man is putting his life at risk, and I'm just glad that he's actually reading us well.
I'm starting to wonder if there's anything he doesn't know about us.
Later that day, I took them out for dinner. I suggest a game. Are you enjoying that? You drank it all?
One go.
All right. This is the cork. I'll place that in the centre. James, I'd like you to take the cork, hold it under the table. All of you put your hands under the table. I want you to pass the cork around under the table, but try not to give any indication of who's got it or who's passing it to whom. All right? Okay. I will look the other way for this. Go. Fake as much as you like.
Oh, you've got very soft hands.
Okay, that's it. Stop. Whoever's got it now, just hang on to it. Keep your hands under the table. All right. Now, I spent a couple of days with you all, and I've got a sense of your personalities and how you interact as a group, so I should be able to do this. James took the cork to start with. I see you all as animals. This goes back to the caricaturing that I do, the painting that I do. James I see as a deer, like a baby deer. You know, one that can't walk properly yet. You've got one of the stronger members of the group right next to you. I think you would just pass it straight to him. Warren, then... Initially I saw you as like a mole, but I see you more now as one of those Komodo lizards. Just sit very still, I'm sure you'd love this as well. Just quite intensely watching, and then the tongue would come out and they'd just grab. But I think you'd just pass that on as well. Daniel's different. Daniel's the cat, the black cat. A little more detached, a little cooler, rather fond of itself, a little prone to licking itself. More likely to try and mess things up a little. I think you'd have passed it back or you'd have passed it across. And then it would have gone across again to Jamie, the Labrador. You'd have just passed it on again. To you, Daniel. Kind of see you as the shaggy but good-natured mongrel. Very good-natured, but not properly house-trained yet. So I think you'd have tried to mess things up. You'd have had to pass it around. You wouldn't have wanted to come across here, so you'd have passed it around again. But ultimately, what's interesting in this power play is who you will eventually work towards, who you will think towards. And I'm hoping that the cork would end up with a person that you all but unconsciously perceive as the leader of the group, who is the one that, in his own way, is most controlling. The cork at this point can only have ended up with you, Warren. Will you just bring your hands up for me? If you have got it, or if you haven't got it, I don't mind. Just keep your hands like this for a second. There's no other answer. You must have it. Open your hands. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Because of the British gun laws, we've travelled overseas to play Russian roulette in a secret location. Guys, for 4 of you, this is as far as it goes. I can only take 1 of you through to play the game. So I just want to thank you all now for doing this and taking part and being so extraordinary. Daniel, it's been a real pleasure. Daniel.
Thank you.
Jamie.
Cheers.
James.
Yeah.
And Warren, you too. Thank you very much. All right, if you look in front of you, you'll see these cameras here. I want you from now on just to keep looking in the cameras, even when I'm not talking to you. Just keep looking straight ahead. Please try not to move your hands. Those cameras there right in front of you. Just keep looking right into them. Okay, we bring some lights up on you. One last task for you. I want you all to think of a word. Now, you may not want to go for the first word that comes to mind. That's fine. Feel free to change your mind a few times, but then settle on one word for me now. From now on, do not change your mind. Stick with whatever you've got now and be absolutely honest when I ask you what your word is. Okay, first of all, can I have the camera on Daniel Love, please? Thank you. All right, okay, so Daniel, all the way through this, has been trying to remain very sceptical and cynical and absolutely solid and detached from the whole thing. You can see this here, you can see it in his eyes. Absolutely solid. This will be a solid word, a detached, controlling word like control, or solid, something like that. Daniel, what's your word?
Fox.
Okay. Then I'm sorry, I can't use you. Okay, Daniel, pipe, please. This could be two things. This could be two things from Daniel. And it's either, I have a feeling this is to do with fragility as a very sensitive character, and that this is a sensitive personality under pressure, which is what he's feeling now. It could be one of two things, but I have a feeling it's that. So it could be a fragile word, fragility, like egg or glass or china, something that breaks under pressure. Something like that. What's your word, Daniel?
Glass.
Fantastic. Jamie, please. Jamie, okay. Okay, with Jamie here, I think what he's doing here could be a couple of things. He could be giving me calmness, but I think what it is, a feeling of being above it all and somehow sort of looking down and just sort of being above the whole thing. And if that's what he's doing, I can't use it. So it would be a word just flying above the process, like a plane or a kite or something like that. Something like that, something above, looking down. You can see it, it's in the mouth. And what's your word, Jamie?
Kite.
Kite. Okay, thank you. And I can't use him. I can't use him. James. See, James, throughout all of this, it's just the level of nervousness. It's like, keep looking to the camera, please, straight to the camera. It's like a little boy. It's like, he's so in touch with the level of reality with this, and the fear is so much stronger with him, and just being, it's like a little boy who's lost his mother in a department store. This will be a fear. It's just nerves. It's just getting nerves from him, like shaking, or nervousness, or that sort of thing. James, what's your word?
Nervous.
Thank you. Warren. Warren, what's your word?
Sheep.
Okay, that's close enough. Can I have a wide shot, please? Daniel pipes the fragility of that connection you made. I'm sorry, Daniel. It's not going to be you either. Which leaves you two. It leaves Warren and James. And James is going to be you. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, thank you. Thank you. James, I've given you a couple of minutes to gather your thoughts. I want to explain to you why it was that I chose you. Okay, out of the whole group, aside from the fact that I read your word correctly, but out of the whole group, you are the only one who I feel has really embraced the reality of this and what I'm going to do. All right? But I want to check that you are okay with this and genuinely happy to do it, yeah?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
All right, terrific. Then what I'm going to do is give you another session with the armourer.
Okay.
And I won't have any contact with you and I won't speak with you until we actually play Russian roulette.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll ask you to get out then. Thanks very much. The game of Russian roulette that you're about to watch is being performed in a controlled environment with the full cooperation of firearms experts. And I know, as a viewer of this show, you'll be intelligent enough to be aware that this should only be attempted by me here with this level of preparation and expertise. Can we bring James up now, please? You all right?
Yep.
Okay, this is the room where we're going to play it.
Okay.
These are fixed remote control cameras around the room.
Mm-hmm.
This here is bulletproof glass. You're going to be sat behind this for some of the time. All right?
Okay.
This is the table. Before you sit down, I want you to check under the table there are no hidden cameras. Do that for me now.
No, that's good.
All right, have a seat for me, thank you. James, can I ask you to verify we have not spoken since you agreed to play the game?
No, we haven't.
And you spent some time with the armourer, who's taken you through everything again, and also explained this to you?
Yeah.
This shield?
Yeah.
Can you explain what this is? This is a shield we've had made. When you load a bullet into a revolver, you can see along the side here and at the front where the bullet lies, in which chamber it is. We've had this shield made, which fits onto the top and stops either the camera or me from accidentally seeing where the bullet is. Are you happy with that, and you're happy that's all the shield does?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to bring the armourer over.
Gentlemen, these are live rounds. Please cover your ears. James, select a round, stand it there.
Thank you. Thank you. Our armourer will now leave, along with our cameraman, for safety reasons. The rest of this will now be filmed using these remote control cameras. Okay, aside from you and me, now this room is empty. Also want you to know we are going out live at the moment. And also, James, I've signed a disclaimer. I've signed a form that absolves you from any legal responsibility for this, all right? Also, morally, you are not responsible for this. It's my decision to do it, and I'm responsible for it, okay?
Okay.
If it fucks up, it's not your fault, all right? Pick up the gun. Take the gun under the table. Can you see the numbers?
Yes.
Okay, move it around a bit, familiarise yourself with the numbers, make sure you can see them clearly. I want you to choose one of those numbers. You keep that number to yourself, but have a look at them now and choose one. This number you choose now, it doesn't matter which one it is. You can change your mind as many times as you like, but you make that decision for me and you settle on a number. Are you thinking of one now?
Yeah.
All right, you need to repeat that number to yourself over and over again, quietly in your head. Fix that number in your mind. Pick up the bullet. You're going to place that bullet into the number chamber you were just thinking of. As you do it, keep your fingers away from the trigger. Do that for me now. Put it in. Check as it goes in. Double check that it's going in the correct chamber, the one that you're thinking of. Is it going in the correct one?
Yes, it is.
All right, lock that number into your mind. Keep your fingers away from the trigger. Keep the gun pointed down at the floor. Feel free to move the cylinder around a bit. You can move it as many times as you like or spin it, whatever you like. Whenever you're ready, close the cylinder, snap it shut, make sure it's closed. Keep saying that number to yourself, James. It's very important you remember it.
Okay.
All right, pick up the shield. In the way the armourer has shown you, and keep your fingers away from the trigger. As you do this, you're going to place the shield now onto the gun. Keep your fingers away from the trigger. It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, it's locked in.
Is it on?
Yeah.
In the way the armourer has shown you, again, without pointing the gun directly at you, I want you to check that you can't see where the bullet is, neither from the side nor from the front. Happy with that?
Yep, can't see it.
Great. Place the gun on the table for me. All right. That's the hard part over for you. All you've got now in your mind is a number between 1 and 6. You need to lock that number in your mind so tightly now, all right? Just take a minute to do that for me now. Otherwise, with the pressure of all of this, it will slip your mind over and over again to yourself, all right? It's a number between 1 and 6. That's all this is now. In a moment, I'll get you to count from 1 to 6. As long as you can do that, you're absolutely fine.
Okay.
Okay, behind me is the bulletproof glass, behind that's a chair. You're going to go and sit in that chair for your own safety when I tell you to. The chair is bolted to the floor. You must not move out of the chair. You must stay in the chair, all right?
Okay.
Whatever happens, you don't move, and whatever happens, you do not try and stop me. Don't call out, don't try and stop it, all right? If I'm not 100% confident, I won't do it, I won't pull the trigger.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'd like you to go and sit in the chair. There are ear protectors on the chair. Just put them on your lap for now. You won't need them quite yet. You sat in the chair?
Yep.
Can you see me in the gun?
Yes, I can.
James, I'm going to ask you in a moment to count from 1 to 6. I'm only going to ask you to do this once. You need to count clearly and slowly and loudly so I can hear you. From 1 to 6. Listen, very important as you count, don't give me any clues. Don't try and help me. If you try and help me, James, it will confuse me. And it's really important I'm not confused. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does.
All right. When I say go, just take a little while. Just take a moment just to take a breath and relax. And then count from 1 to 6. Loudly, clearly, and slowly. And take a breath first. Go.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to set the gun to a chamber that I feel is safe. That's number 3. Number 3, I feel is safe. Each time that I pull the trigger, the chamber will rotate 1 round. So I'm going to start by firing number 3, which I feel is safe, and then 4, then 5, then 6, and then 1, and then 2. Number 3, I feel is safe. James, will you put your ear defenders on? Number 3, I feel is safe. Number 4, I feel is safe. Number 5. Stand up. Thanks. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have your eyes open? Were you watching?
Yeah, at that point I did, yeah.
Yeah. You're extraordinary. Thank you.
welcome to Derren Brown's Infamous. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Derren Brown.
We are all trapped inside our own heads, and our beliefs and understandings about the world are limited by that perspective. I came out when I was 31, presume that I was gay when I was a teenager, so that's 15, 16 years of pretending this huge part of you doesn't exist, of dreading the subject of sex, and generally feeling like you don't fit in. And then many years later you realize you have to come out, you have to tell people about it at some point. I didn't mean you specifically just then. Sorry, I was just looking at... Sorry, forgive me, I was just gesturing. One has to come out. And when you do, this is my point. If you have any secret, whatever it is, anything that you carry around with you and you think you couldn't possibly tell people, when you finally do, when you finally summon up the courage to get this big thing off your chest, you realize people don't care. They don't care, not really. Not even your best friends, in the nicest way. Don't really care. Because they are also trapped inside their own heads. They are the center of their own worlds, and stuff you're saying to them is just some information about you, really. It's all it is. Like what I'm telling you now. It's big stuff for me, for you, it's just some information about me. The novelist David Foster Wallace said, brilliantly, I think, you'll worry a lot less about what other people think of you when you realize how seldom they do. It's very good. But we're terrible at realizing what goes on in other people's heads because we are trapped inside our own, and one consequence of that is that we're particularly bad at realizing how fundamentally similar we all are. So if you're in your 30s, I'm talking to you now. There'll be concerns that you might have or issues that you might be facing, which you may feel just apply to you. The comforting reality is they apply to pretty much everybody in their 30s. Women in that age group, you'll have started going to the doctors more often. And men, very common, particularly in your later 30s, to feel stuck in a rut and to fear the possibility of an extramarital affair. And statistically, in an audience this size, 13 of you will be having an affair right now. 13 of you. I don't mean right now, like this second. Although there is something going on up the top, can't quite tell what it is. But 13 of you, and these are real patterns of behavior. There are similar patterns for people in their 40s and 50s and 60s and so on throughout life. So if I were a psychic, which I am not, or if I claim to have special powers, which I really don't, I could use that kind of information to seemingly know a lot about you, or give somebody a powerful reading. So imagine you've come to see me, and I'm a stage psychic. And I say that I'm picking up some kind of psychic vibration from somebody in the audience, and I say it's a lady. And actually, could you, I promise I won't ask you up on stage, could you just put your hand up if you are a lady? Just so we can see how it works out in terms of numbers. So please do this on the balconies as well, and right up at the top of the back. Keep your hands up as long as this continues to apply to you, all right? So let's say I'm sensing it's a lady and sort of a youngish lady, sort of around 20, that kind of age. And I'm sensing your name begins with an F. It's a random letter, but it'll just help narrow you down. So keep your hands up as long as this has continued to apply to you. Right now, in the dark, can feel a bit special. I think he's talking to me. Whereas the reality is, do keep your hands up. If we just bring the lights up for a moment, we bring the lights up. If you look around you, you should see in the nicest way, nothing special happening at all. Just a bunch of Fs sat in the dark. Actually, could you stand up if you've got your hand up? Could you stand up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, it's good. Right, a good number of you. Anybody on these other balconies? Yeah, hello, great. Could you stand up? We'll get a microphone to you. This is on the upper circle. The rest of you can sit down. I think I'll just talk to this lady here, but thank you so much for standing. What's your name?
Faye.
Faye, nice to meet you, Faye. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
20.
20. Have you got any pets?
Yeah.
What have you got? Don't say their names, just like dogs, cats, whatever they are, it's fine.
Dogs.
Dogs, what breed?
Staff.
Staffers, okay, good. You said dogs, is that 2?
Yeah.
Did you name them both yourself?
Family name.
Family named them, okay. All right, how long ago did they name them? Roughly, what are we talking about? A few years ago?
About 10, 11 years ago.
10, 11 years ago. Okay, what do your parents do for a living? Or at least what were they doing back then?
Hairdresser and electrician.
Hairdresser and electrician, okay, good. Okay, the dog's male, female, one of each?
Female.
Okay, both female?
Yeah.
All right. Now listen, you're going to tell me the name of one of the dogs, and I'm going to work out what they would have called the other dog, all right? So if you think of both of the names, if you think one of them is maybe a little more obvious than the other one, then give me that one so I can work out the more unusual one, all right? So take your time, but just give me the name of one of the dogs.
Ebby.
Ebby?
Yeah.
E-B-B-Y?
E-B-B-I.
A-E-B-B-I. Maybe short for ebony? Is it a black dog? Okay, all right, good. So this will be the name of the other one. All right, and it's a female?
Yeah.
Okay, and they name both of them together. All right, just imagine you are calling this dog to you. Imagine you're calling the dog to you. All right, now as you do that, just keep repeating the name in your mind again and again. No, the lips remain sort of quite relaxed, importantly, so we know there's no sort of plosive sounds or like P's or B's or anything that would bring the lips together. So keep repeating the names. No, it's also at the front of the mouth, so you've got like an N or a T, maybe, and I think we're starting with a S sound or a Z. Oh, there you go, careful. You don't need to say yes, that's okay. I'll work it out. I appreciate the help. This takes the challenge out of it somewhat. Oh, there you go, back up there again. So just keep repeating the name. Just shout the name, nothing out loud, but in your mind, just shout the name like you're screaming to this dog to come to you, all right? Louder and louder until you are... Oh, no, they call it Xena. Xena with an X, like the princess... Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you very much indeed. Great, take a seat. Well done, thank you. So, thank you so much. So this is genuinely specific information, right? Not just things that would apply to everybody. So let's keep this really specific. Put your hands up now if you're a man aged between 28 and 35. Put your hands up. Keep them up if you are in the earning group 20 to 50K. And then keep them up if you've been in a relationship for at least 2 years. Otherwise, drop your hands. All right? Good. Okay, we get the lights up. Let's choose one of you. I'm going to choose from downstairs. So upstairs, you may drop your hands. I'll come to you in a moment. Let's keep your hands up downstairs. All right, wave your hands so I can see you, so I can see more clearly. Okay, all right. I want to get this over this side. So can somebody get it to somebody with a hand up? Doesn't have to be the person nearest you. Just take a look around you. Get it to somebody with a hand up. Okay, could you stand up for me, sir? There's a microphone there. The rest of you can drop your hands. Let me talk to this gentleman. All right, great. What's your name, sir?
Nick.
Nick. Okay, Nick. So we're going to go really specific, Nick. I want you to think of a word, an English word. Ideally, at least 4 letters, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to go shorter, that's up to you. But have you got something?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Now, whatever you're thinking of, Nick, is the first word that's just come into your head, and I've just stood you up in front of 2,000 people and asked you to do that. I don't want you going home later saying to yourself, he just put me on the spot, I didn't get a chance to think, I bet everyone just thinks of the same word. So right now, Nick, is when you change your mind again and again and again, so you don't have that excuse later on. All right? You can imagine if you like, you're looking through a dictionary, maybe you come across an unusual word, maybe not too unusual, maybe that in itself would be quite predictable. Just take your time, have a look through it. You've got 26 letters to look through. Take your time until you come across a word you're absolutely happy that I could not just rely on everybody thinking of. Have you got something in your mind now? Change your mind as many times as you like. Yes?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, there's a guy with a pen and paper just there. 2 things, Nick. You're going to write this word down nice and large and clearly, please, because we are going to show it around. But, Nick, really importantly, don't let anybody see what you write. Stick it in the envelope when you're done. Thank you. So this is really specific, right? Even more specific than a pet's name. Which actually just reminds me of something. Let me just show you this briefly. Just while Nick's writing his word down. Can I get this to a lady on or near the aisle? Somewhere over here. So, lady on or near the aisle. Somebody, sorry. Just pass it around. Somebody's lady on or near the aisle. Thank you. Somebody stand up with it. Hello, what's your name, madam?
Amanda.
Amanda, nice to meet you. Do you have a mobile phone number? Do you know it off by heart?
Yes.
Yes, could you write it down for me? There's a guy with a pen and paper there. Gentlemen. That's how you do it. People waste so much time. Amanda, don't let anybody see. Just write it down, fold it up, put it in your pocket when you're done. I saw a psychic do this. I always go and see psychic shows when I can. This one was up above a pub, packed out with people in their 60s and 70s, which is maybe why this flew past them. But the psychic asked a lady to write down her mobile phone number, fold it up, put it in a pocket without anybody seeing. You doing that for me, Amanda? Is it out the way? Yep, lovely, thank you. And she said it was a test, that the spirits would be able to tell what the phone number was. Well, which is a bit odd, but, you know, kind of made sense, so I was intrigued. So could you stay standing for me, Amanda, if you don't mind? Thank you. So just get that right out the way in your pocket or something if you've got one. Thank you. So and obviously, you know, you try not to be judgmental or, you know, but you try and keep an open mind. But I swear to God, she goes, all right, love, I'm getting your grandma, she's coming through. Does actually sound like it now, I've said that out loud. I'm getting your grandma, love. She's giving me a phone number as proof that she's coming through. All right, she's saying, she's giving me an O. She's saying there's an O at the start of the number. Is that right? Is that right, love?
Yeah.
Is there an O at the start? Thank you. Just passing it on, whatever comes through. She's saying,
She was a right chatterbox, so she's giving me another number. She's saying... Thanks. She's saying a 7. She's saying 07 at the start. Is that right?
Yes.
Is there an 07 at the start? Thank you very much. No, she's fading away now, love. She's fading away, Petal. But that's something you can take away with yourself. That's £40. You can sit yourself back down. I swear it was pathetic. Sorry, thank you so much, Amanda. It was truly embarrassing. Did that give you enough time, Nick, to write your word down?
It did, yes.
Yes?
Yes, it did.
Yes? OK, have you put it in the envelope?
Yes.
Yes, good, because I also have an envelope. OK, so Nick, can you get yourself to the bottom of the stairs on this side? Just push past the camera people over there for me. And can someone who doesn't mind just reading something out briefly just nip up on the stage? Anyone that fancies coming up. Quick as you can. Somebody come up here. It's going to be you, I think. What's your name, sir?
Luke.
Luke, give Luke a hand. I've become Luke. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Luke. Can you take this off my back? Can you take it off my back? Thank you. Pull it off. Pull it, pull it, pull it. Come stand here. Come stand there for me, Nick. Just there. No, Luke, rather. Luke. Nick's over there. Right, Luke, just here. Could you take it out? There's a letter in there. If you take that out for me, I'm going to read this out. But your job is just to check over my shoulder that I'm not changing anything, all right? I'll take it out. Thank you so much. All right. Are you there, Nick? So, look, as I read this out, please, when it gets to the important bit, don't react. So, tonight on the 27th of March, that is tonight, at the Grand Theatre Leeds, that's where we are, I shall ask someone to think of a word. Oh, I did say a man aged between 28 and 35. You are, aren't you? Yes? And in the earning group, 20 to 50K? And in a long-term relationship? OK. The fact the weather has been cold and overcast today, so you start thinking more about inside sort of things, indoorsy things. The language I used when I asked them to think of a word, and I was using very visual language with the dictionary and so on. The fact that I've stood them up, which means they'll be thinking under pressure, and I got you to change your mind again and again and again, which sort of increases that pressure and starts to kind of push them down certain avenues. All these and other subtle factors will combine to, hopefully, psychologically force the person to think of a particular word, which is film, all right? Film as in, as in movies or film, right? Camera film, movies and so on. Do you want to bring yourself up here? Come and stand here for me. Thank you, Nick. Do you want to keep reading this out? If you just go from there, from the person into the mic. Off you go, Luke. Thank you.
The person who wrote the word has been told not to react. If they have written any word in the English language other than film, this does not reflect badly on Derren or his presented skills.
Fair point. But if out of all the words they could have chosen, they have written film, the audience will go mental. And it does say it there very clearly in print. Mental. You've got this look like this hasn't worked, and I think I know why. Whatever it is, if you take it out, hold it up, show the camera there, like for a good 5 seconds, everybody can read it. Whatever it is, just shout into the mic as well what it is.
Sorry, I've sealed it.
Oh, you've sealed it? OK.
Yeah.
God, the suspense.
No.
Christ.
The word is film.
The word is film, you did! There you go, keep on at that. You can have that if you like. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Luke. Thank you too, Luke. Luke and Nick! Thank you so much. I would She's coming back through. Amanda, love, stand up, your grandma, she's come back. All right, she's saying there's a number in your phone number, like a 5 or a 3 or a 9.
Yes.
Which one?
3.
3, that's what she's saying now. She's showing me a 3 very clearly. The others have fading away. There's not a 222 in the middle, is there, love? 222?
No.
No, that's what she's saying. There's not a 222 in the middle. It's another £40. You can sit yourself back down. Thank you. I'm sorry. Listen, if you've ever been to see a spiritualist medium, or particularly if you think you may go and see a medium at some point, I would love for you to come up on stage in the second half of this show and allow me to do a form of mediumship with you. So if this appeals to you and you are 18 or over, can you bring yourself to those stairs? In the interval, they'll bring you up when it's safe to come up. But first, I would love to give one of you a gift, but a real gift. The gift of a trance state. And this trance state will be such that for the brief amount of time that you are in it, it'll be the equivalent of spending a week at a really expensive, exclusive spa somewhere. So I'm only going to choose one of you to give you the full experience. But nonetheless, you can all take part in this and get a taste of it and feel what it's like, because it's so good for you and it feels amazing. So if you'd like to do it, please, stand up. Up you get. Up you get. Come on, feet flat on the floor. Stand yourselves up.
If you stand with your hands down by your sides, and stand with your feet about a hip's width apart, so you can stand quite solidly, quite comfortably. Good. Anybody watching this at home, this will not work on you at home, all right? You can watch the show quite safely. It won't have any influence on you at home, so don't worry about that. I'm not quite going to hypnotize you. It's a little bit different because I want you to be aware of it. That's the whole point, is that you enjoy it. Okay, good. So take a look at me. Take a deep breath right the way in now. Bring it all the way in, right the way in, and then let it out. Again, deep breath all the way in and out. And again, all the way in and out. Now, tense up the muscles in your feet and your legs. And with your eyes closed now, listen very carefully. You're keeping your eyes closed. In a moment, I'm going to count to 3 and click my fingers. When I do, you will go straight down into this sleep state. You'll remain standing. Your head will drop down. Your breathing will become lovely and deep and rhythmical. And you can just sink straight down, still hearing and understanding everything. Here we go. Just go with it. I want you to enjoy it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sleep. And as your head drops down, just let your whole body relax. And as you do this, I want you to imagine that you are walking down a staircase. And each step that you take on the staircase relaxes you more and takes you deeper. Each breath that you breathe relaxes you more and takes you deeper into this sleep, still hearing and understanding everything. And as you do this, I'm going to come down and talk to a couple of you. And the nice thing is it'll take me a couple of minutes to find a couple of you to talk to, which gives you plenty of time to just continue to sink and drift deeper and deeper down at your own rate and speed. That's really good. That's really good. Let me come across to talk to a couple of you as you continue down the staircase, each step taking you deeper, each word that I say relaxing you more and taking you deeper into that sleep. Excuse me, can I bring you out of there? Good. So I'm just going to talk to a gentleman here. I'm putting my hand on your shoulder. You'll know that I'm talking to you as you carry on sleeping. I'm going to bring your arm out here. We're going to lock it into place. So clench your fist and lock that arm tightly into place. Now tighter and tighter, locking it tightly into place. That's good. So tight. Now that when I take my hand away, it just carries on locking all on its own. Tighter and tighter into place. You see, the more you try to unlock it, the more it just keeps on locking. Tighter and tighter. That's good. Until I touch you on the hand again. And when I do, it'll be released. And as it comes down, you'll just sink and tumble and fall so deeply down into that sleep. Now, right the way down. I got you right the way deep and right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking down. That's really good. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. So in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 0. And this will wake you up. It'll bring you up and out of the sleep. And very importantly, I'm talking to you all as a group, but I'm also talking to each of you as an individual. I'm talking to the deepest part of your unconscious mind. 3, here we go. Waking up has never felt so good. 2, and 1, and when you are quite ready to be fully wide awake for the rest of the evening, 0, you can open your eyes, come back to us, be fully wide awake. Take a look around you. Feels good, doesn't it? Enjoy that. Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, hello, great. So, take a seat. Apart from you, what's your name?
Adam.
Adam, lovely to meet you, Adam. Give Adam a big hand. Could you take this off? Just put that on your chair in front of you. Give Adam a hand as you bring him up. Up you come, Adam. Lovely, I'll be done, Adam. Thank you. The rest of you can take a seat for me. Thank you, madam. All of you, please, as I'm bringing up Adam, can you all please take a look? All of you at both of your neighbours. Very quickly, people on both sides of you. Everybody do that for me now. Even if you don't know them, just a quick look. Thank you, Adam. I'm going to stand you there facing the front. Thank you so much. A quick look to people on both sides. If either of your neighbours is still asleep, now's a really good time to let me know. Put your hand up and make a fuss, otherwise I will presume everybody is wide awake. Good. So is it Adam? Adam, nice to meet you. Look at me now and just sleep. Right the way back down, right the way deep. I got you. Right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking and floating and spiraling. That's good. My voice just there in the centre of your head. One thing that really interests me about this fact that we are trapped inside our own heads, that we're the centre of our own world, is that we tend to think that problems in life are real and solid and permanent. The reality is, those same things, just viewed from a different perspective, can suddenly seem temporary and flimsy somehow. And Adam, you're really good at this. And every time I put you back into this sleep, you are going to go deeper, it'll be richer, it'll be more enjoyable each time that you do this. But for now, I want you just to slowly reorientate yourself back to the room. You'll feel yourself waking up, you feel that refreshment moving up through you. When you're quite ready, you can open your eyes and come back to us. Excellent. Thank you, Adam. All right, so let me show you this here. This is something you can all do with each other. You need to get yourself a box that you can put your hand through. I can just do it a little more quickly with Adam because I know he'll be very responsive to this. Adam, I'm going to put something in this box. I don't want you seeing what it is. So if you don't mind, just face the front and just close your eyes just so you can't see. It's nothing unpleasant. It's a very ordinary household object. I just don't want you seeing what it is. Okay. Okay, Adam, you can open your eyes now for me, thank you. Can you put your hand flat on top of the box? Maybe take a sideways step towards it as well. Please don't look at what's in there. Thank you. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to get you to lower your hand into the box and find the object. You will probably tell what it is pretty quickly, but it's not really about you identifying it. This is just about you paying attention to kind of the sensations that you get and how you interpret them, okay? So lower your hand in for me. Find the object. First question, how would you describe the temperature of that object?
Room temperature.
Room temperature, good. And if you squeeze it, would you say it was sort of soft or hard or squidgy or?
Slightly plain.
Slightly plain, okay.
Hard, yeah.
Very good. Now you're lifting it up. Is it light or heavy?
It's light.
Can you tell what it is?
Apple.
It is indeed an apple. Great. So leave the apple where it is. Bring your hand out for me, Adam. That's great. Thank you. Hand by your side again. Would you close your eyes again for me, please? Just face the front. Thank you. Good. You're doing great. This time, I'm going to cover the front of the box so none of you see what it is. So you keep your eyes close to me as well. Good. Give me just a moment. You're doing great, Adam. Okay, you can open your eyes for me. Hand on top of the box again. This time, we'll do it a little bit differently, and I would invite you to join in with this if you like. I want you to think of something in your life, Adam. I won't ask you what it is. Something that makes you feel, something that feels like it's big and getting on top of you at the moment. Feels like it's weighing you down. You think of something? Good. All right. Now, whatever you're thinking of, if you run it through in your mind like a sort of a movie, as you sort of think it through to get those feelings, you'll notice you make that movie screen up here. You make it big and on top of you, which is why it feels like that, all right? Now, if you shrink that down to the size of an iPad, and then bring that down here instead, and take a look at it there instead, Adam. Now watch the same thing, but on that little screen instead. No longer feels like it's getting on top of you, because now you're on top of it. Same thing, but a very different perspective. In fact, as you watch it there now, you can start to feel a real feeling of stability and confidence moving through you. A very different feeling as you watch it. And that can expand up into your chest and shoulders. That's good. It can feel really good as you start to feel like a giant, towering above this thing that used to feel like a problem. As you feel like a colossus towering above this stage. Good, solid and confident, that's good. Lower your hand into the box now and look at me, fingertips. All right, just with your fingertips, find the object, just very gently. Try and keep looking at me as you do this. Find it in the middle there. First question as you move your fingers along it is, what would you say it's made of? A guess.
Metal.
Metal, good. Now just get a sense of the shape of it, move your fingertips along it, perhaps you can tell what it is. What do you think?
A spoon.
A spoon. What sort of spoon, Adam?
Tablespoon, silver spoon.
Like a big one or a little one?
Little one.
Little like a teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon, yeah.
Teaspoon? Yeah. Great, okay, you leave that teaspoon where it is. Then look at me, just bring your hand out, leave the teaspoon where it is, bring your hand out of the box. Good, excellent, lovely. Face the front, close your eyes again for me, just close your eyes. I'll show you all the teaspoon that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing, so do keep your eyes closed. As he was feeling confident, feeling like a giant, this was the teaspoon that he felt. All right, you're doing great, just keep your eyes closed, me, Adam, but you are doing brilliantly. I'm going to cover the front of the box again so you can't see. I'll put one more thing in there. This is a slightly trickier object to get in, so give me just a moment with this one. Okay, keep your eyes closed. It's a little longer, Adam. Open your eyes for me. Hand on top of the box. This time, you're going to think of something that makes you feel warm and safe and cozy. Anything you like in life. Could be a person or a place or a memory or something that makes you feel nice and warm and safe and cozy. You got something? Okay. Whatever you're picturing there, just bring that image in a little closer. Make the colours softer and fuzzier. That's lovely. Just keep that feeling there. And look at me again. Lower your hand into the box. Very gently this time. Absolute fingertips, all right? Absolute fingertips. Find the object. And then really gently, maybe let your hand move underneath it a little. Let it move onto your hand a little. Get a sense of, would you say it's light or heavy? What would you say now?
Light.
Again?
Light.
Light, very good. Now, more complicated shape this time, Adam. So take your time with it. You might be able to get a sense of what it is. If you take your time and feel the shape of it and the contours, what do you think it is?
Glove.
A glove?
Yeah.
What sort of glove? Like a woolly glove or a leather glove or
a woolly glove.
A little louder, please.
A woolly glove.
A woolly glove, great. You leave that woolly glove where it is then, please. Bring your hand out for me. Bring your hand out, very gently let it... Good, lovely. Hands by your sides. Close your eyes again for me. Thank you, and I'll show you all the woolly glove that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing again. So, perhaps we can get that. So thank you. Could you take that for me? Lovely. Great, thank you. Open your eyes, face the front for me. Good. Clearly an odd reaction for you, I realise. Thank you. Clearly they were seeing something there that you weren't seeing, I realise that. But I'm sure your friends will explain to you what happened when you join them again. Come forward for me. Point is, you're very good at this, Adam, right? And I'd like to give you this trance state as a gift. But this is going to happen in the interval. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are you with here tonight?
My mum and my sister.
Your mum and your sister. Okay. What's your mum's name?
Christine.
Christine. All right. I might talk to her in a moment. Have you got a mobile phone on you at the moment?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to take that for a moment. Yeah. I will give it to your mum in just a second as well. Thank you. All right. Could you sit yourself up here for me? You happy to do this in the interval? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Lovely. Okay. We'll look after your mum and sister. We'll get them a drink as well. We'll make sure they're taken care of. Just swing your legs around for me. And then lay back as well. So we'll check the pillows in the right place and you're comfortable and just get yourself comfy. All right? And put your legs out. And good. Now sit yourself straight back up. Happy get. Lovely. So, so Adam, this trance state now we're going to do, it only exists for your benefit. It's the only reason for doing this. This is a completely private and personal thing for you now. Bring your finger up for me like this. Just point your finger. Good. So in a moment, I'm going to touch my finger to yours. When I do, your eyes will close. You'll go back into this trance state, and your trance journey will begin. Are you ready? Good. I'll see you on the other side. Excellent, Adam. That's really good. Thank you. And Adam, you can now just sleep. And as you sleep, you can drift and sink back down that staircase. As you sink deeper, everything else happens 100 miles away. And just to make sure that your experience is really kept quite separate and private and detached, we're placing a sort of cocoon around you, just to make sure that your experience is kept quite separate as you sink deeper and deeper down into that trance state. And everything else happens 100 miles away as you continue down that staircase. That's really good. So I can talk to all of you, and Adam can hear me. It just doesn't distract him as he sinks deeper down into his trance state. His mum, Christine, could you stand up for me? Where are you? Over there somewhere, I guess. Hi, Christine. So I'm going to ask you to draw a picture. There's a couple of things that are important, so please, I want you to understand this. First of all, it needs to be a drawing of something that is a real-world physical object, something you could actually touch, as opposed to just like a geometric shape or a design or something like that. Does that make sense? Okay, and if there's anything else that you just think that Adam might think that you personally would draw for some reason, then ignore that as well. All right, can you think of something suitable now? Yeah, perfect, all right. Whatever you draw, there's a guy with a pen and paper at the side there. When you've drawn it, Christine, can you write underneath what it is? Then you won't worry about how accurately you've drawn it as well. So write what it is, but don't let anybody see, including the guy with the pen and paper and none of the cameramen or anything like that either. When you've done it, remember, write underneath what it is and then seal it in an envelope. You should have an envelope there as well. Thank you, Christine. If you can go and do that for me now. Thank you. So while Christine's doing that, let me explain what's going to happen next. We're going to take an interval. If during this interval you would like to come up on stage in the second half, if you have a genuine interest in the possibility of mediumship, please bring yourself to the bottom of the steps on that side there. They will bring you up in the interval when it's safe to come up. When you do come up, take a look at Adam. He's sleeping quite soundly. And then come and sit yourself down. Did that give you enough time to draw your picture, Christine? Yeah. Great. Could you bring yourself up here for me? Thank you. Great. So first of all, I'm just going to give you Adam's phone. I just took off him up there, so you've got that. Thank you. And can you write your name for me? In big letters, you can lean on this if you like, but just right where you've sealed it, right across that joint, so you know it can't now be tampered with, right across the joint. Thank you, Christine. Lovely, thank you. I'll put that there. Thank you, and you take his phone. Thank you. So come over here for me. Come and take a look at your son, who's sleeping quite soundly. There's a couple of things I need to ask you to do, and they're both really important, all right? First thing is, you have to keep that a secret. Now, no one saw what you drew, did they? No, great. So please keep it a secret. Don't even tell your daughter that you're with here as well. Absolute secret. The other thing is, every 2 or 3 minutes throughout the interval, can you please remember, in your head, just say to yourself, Adam, I drew a... And then whatever it is, as if you were kind of whispering in his ear what it was. But that isn't out loud. That is just silently in your head. But you must do it. You promise to do that, even though that sounds a bit odd. All right, lovely. Thank you. Well, there'll be an usher to take a drink order for you both, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. But thank you so much. And I'll speak to you in the second half. Thank you, Christine. So I'm hoping that while Adam sleeps, that he'll be able to intuit at some level what his mother has drawn and sealed into that envelope. That's really good, Adam. You can just continue to sink and drift down, even more deeply into the sleep, as you find yourself now in a beautiful garden. And as you lay on the grass, and as you feel the warmth of the grass beneath you, and then the fresh air as the breeze blows through the garden, keeping the temperature to the perfect level. And as you do this, I'm going to bring your hands up onto your chest, which will actually help you sleep even more deeply. So I'm going to bring them up here as you continue to sleep. Good. Thank you. Excellent. Just need to get to your stomach, so I'm just going to roll your T-shirt up a little as you sleep. I'm just going to bring this up here and tuck it in. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So I thought in this half of the show I would talk to you about some of my obsessions. 10 years ago, my father called me up to tell me he'd been diagnosed with cancer. And it turned out to be an early form of cancer. It was quite treatable, and 10 years later, he's fine. But at the time, I was quite shaken up by it. And I spoke to a few friends about it. And one girl that I spoke to, that I knew, said, you should take him to see the homeopath that my mum saw when she had cancer. He completely cured it. And I thought, a couple of things. First of all, I thought, yeah, your mum also had 6 months of chemotherapy, which you've just edited out of that story, but okay. And secondly, I know about things like homeopathy because they do interest me. There have been dozens of systematic reviews of all of the hundreds of tests that have been done on homeopathy over the years, proper tests. And we do know now for a fact that it doesn't work. We know that. The results are actually very clear, quite unambiguous. It doesn't work. It doesn't have any real effect. And I tried to nicely explain this to her, and she said, well, it is your dad, though. You could afford to be a bit more open-minded. Open-minded. Thank you. Stand you just there. Thank you. Stay still. Hold your hands out. Lovely. In the Philippines, if you have cancer, there's a form of treatment available to you where the surgeon, without using any instruments or any knives, uses psychic vibrations to enter the body of the patient. So you will feel, Adam, a little bit of poking here for a moment, and then all of this just happens 100 miles away. That's good. And removes from inside any cancerous tumors or demonized parts. You okay? Yeah. Thank you. Would you sit yourself back down again? Thank you. Of course, it's a conjuring trick. It's a really ugly scam called psychic surgery. And sometimes, rather like with homeopathy, sometimes people do get better, surprisingly, either because they were just going to get better anyway, or because of the placebo effect, which just means that for some people with low-level conditions, their belief that this is actually going to help is enough to create a genuine improvement, which is great for those people. But clearly not the same as saying that this is an effective treatment or something that you'd want to use instead of medicine that does actually stand up to testing, let alone anything, sadly, that's ever going to help cancer. But hey, got to be open-minded. Being open-minded, it doesn't mean just believing everything. because you'd like it to be true. Being truly open-minded is about being prepared to change your beliefs based on the evidence, or the lack of evidence. Otherwise, you can be so open-minded that your brain falls out. Hold that thought. I'm going to come back to it. Thank you, Adam. That's really great. I'm going to bring this back down now. And Adam, you can now take all the time that you need to completely and slowly wake up out of the trance. You will feel this refreshment move right the way through you, right the way to the top of your head. And when you're quite ready, you'll find that your eyes will open all on their own, and you'll be fully back with us. Take all the time that you need. Hello. Hi. Just want to sit yourself up. Take your time. Just slowly sit yourself up. Don't worry about any blood on the sheets. That's fine. Just up you get. Swing yourselves around. Just swing your legs around that way. Just pop yourself there for a moment. Let me get you some water. You've got a bit of a dry mouth. Get your microphone as well. There you go. I haven't touched that one. There you go. Have that. Can I just get this in there? Can I just move your leg there for a bit? So look, you were great. What's it like coming out of it? It feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit sort of spaced out, but it feels good, yeah? There's a bunch of people up here behind you, by the way. This is the second half of the show now. So great. Listen, one thing. Do you remember this box? We could bring this box out again from Adam. You remember you had your hand in this box before. So look, if you look through the front, it's important you look. You'll see there's nothing in there. And you can all see from the back there's nothing in the box, right? So put your hand flat on top for me, Adam. So look, there's nothing in there, right? But in a moment, you're going to lower your hand in. And as you do, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And you will feel something inside the box. Something will come from the back of your mind down to your fingertips. You'll be able to feel it in the box. You'll be able to describe it to me. And you'll do a really good job of describing that to me. So here we go. Lower your hand in now as I count. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 4. That's good. 5. So your first question, Adam, is this thing that you're feeling, does it feel like something living or something man-made?
Man-made.
Man-made. Okay, good. All right, so take your time with it now. I just want you to carry on describe to me what sort of surface. Can you tell what it's made of? Is it like solid? Is it plastic? Is it furry? What kind of surface you're getting?
Like plastic.
Like plastic, okay.
Yeah.
Can you describe maybe its shape to me, or what you're sort of, what's it like?
Cylinder.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But not really cylinder.
Go on. So it's sort of cylindrical, sort of, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on, so keep going, keep talking me through it. What are you feeling? What are you feeling at the moment?
Spikes on the back. Or something like that.
So it's like cylindrical but with spikes. Can you recognise it as being anything?
It feels a bit like a plane.
Oh, like an aeroplane?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Yeah, just like a toy plane when you were a kid or something.
Okay. Well, can you find the wings? Are there wings on it?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're feeling them now?
Yeah, pointy things, yeah.
And so the spike, I guess, was like the tail fin of the plane. So does it point at the other end? Is there like a nose to it as well? Yeah. Can you feel windows? I mean, are you feeling like...
No.
You're not getting windows, okay, but you're getting the shape of a plane. So you've got the nose at the other end.
Yeah.
Do have a look at it as you're doing this, because it's really interesting. If you look at it, you'll see there's nothing, you know there's nothing there, I'm sure, but you can see. What's that like?
It's weird, man.
And you can all see from the back, there is nothing. You can see there's nothing in there. So is there anything else, or is it just an aeroplane?
No, I can just feel an aeroplane.
Okay, all right. Well, why don't you leave the aeroplane mode? Just bring your hand out for us. That's great, Adam. Thank you. Yeah. So look, while you were asleep, your mum drew a picture and has been sending this to you sort of mentally, telepathically through the interval. Before we get too excited, it probably won't be an aeroplane, but there should be a good connection between the two. So it might be something to do with travel. It might be something like a car, or a lorry or a bus or something like that. We'll have a look and see what it is. But I chose your mum rather than your sister here as well, because you'll have the longest connection with your mum. So we'll see. Do you want to... Oh, Christine, you didn't tell anybody what this was, did you? No, great, okay. I'll let you have a look first, but I'm quite intrigued to see what this is. Maybe you can show the camera as well. Ooh, Wow, that is absolutely spot on. Well done. Let me just show the camera again. That is an aeroplane. I'll show you back there as well. That is definitely an aeroplane. Thank you, Adam and Christine. Thank you both. It's really good. Mind how you go. Thank you so much. When we are at our most vulnerable, we do tend to stop thinking as rationally, and we tend to grasp at whatever feels like it'll give us comfort, which is fair enough, but it can be exploited. And there was a really important point, first put forward in the 18th century by a philosopher called David Hume, who said, extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. And all that means is, if you are claiming something that's extraordinary, so something that flies in the face of science, like talking to the dead, for example, and you wish to be taken seriously, firstly, you have to come up with the evidence yourself to back up your own claim. It's not enough just to insist that other people have to try and disprove it, which you can never do. You can never prove that something isn't true. That's trying to prove a negative, so it wouldn't work anyway. So you've got to come up with the evidence yourself to back up your claim, and it's got to be really strong evidence because your claim is so strong. So if, for example, a magician saws a woman in half every night on stage during his show and then starts saying, that isn't a trick, I do it for real. I really do it. I take a woman, any woman, I can do it with any woman. I saw her in half, I use any saw. I pull her into two, and then I put her back together, and I heal her up, and I'm doing it for real. It isn't a trick, and he expects you to believe him. You would say, well, come on, you've got to come up with some pretty strong evidence that you're doing that for real. If you said that, and then he said, you want evidence? Come see my show. I do it every night. That doesn't count. That's not evidence. That's the very thing you're questioning, right? So you would say, well, no, that's all on your terms. Come do the same thing under controlled conditions, and then I'll absolutely believe you. That just means, conditions that are fair for everybody. So if you say you can do it with any woman, we'll provide a woman. Great. If you say you can use any saw, let us provide the saw, and so on. And if you set all that up, and make it absolutely fair for everybody, and then he says, well, I'm not going to do it now because you're skeptical and the energy's all wrong, you can say, well, stop wasting our time, you big baby. So with that in mind, you're all up here because you have a genuine interest in the possibility of mediumship. I would love to show you how it is possible for me or somebody with a similar skill base to seemingly know things about people that you've known who have passed on without, and I promise you, any psychic ability, let alone any contact with the dead. Are you happy for me to do this, first of all? Yes? It won't be with all of you, it'll be with a tiny handful of you, but I hope nonetheless that you all take something from this, all right? And we don't know each other, do we? We do not know each other. For that reason, you've written down your first names on cards, which have been collected here in this bowl. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll be plucking your names out as we go along, so I don't know who I'm going to get. Thank you. And also, as we do this, I'm going to write things down on bits of paper, on cards, rather, which will get projected up onto the wall behind you. Please don't look at what I've written. I'll show you, but only after you've given your answers. And just have a quick check. It's always worth doing this nowadays, that I'm not wearing any sort of earpiece. Can you see in my ear there? Nothing there? Happy with that one too? All right, it's important you know I'm not being fed any information. Not that it would help me anyway, all right, as you'll see. Okay, with that in mind, let's begin. There is a lady stood on the stairs at the moment. About halfway up, she's got her hand on the railing. She's wearing like a pinky blue jumper with a V-neck, probably in her 50s, maybe. I'm going to ask her to come down. Yeah. Okay. She says she's coming through. She's coming through for a lady with a name begins with an R. Rian, or Rebecca. Is there a Rebecca, or is it? Are you Rebecca? Could you stand up for me? Maybe she's coming through for you. Let me just. You can stay right there. That's fine. You can stay where you are. Let me just give you that. Could you take that back? Thank you. All right. So this is a lady in her 50s.
Is there anybody that you, first of all, don't say who it is there somebody you can think that this maybe could be a lady in her 50s that you would have met her? It would be somebody that you would know.
Yeah.
Someone come to mind? Okay. Well, she give me a name. Hang on, let me just try and get this. I'm guessing she might have been perhaps, I don't know, maybe grandmother or something like that, or, yeah. Do you know, what was your grandma's name?
Lillian.
Again?
Lillian.
Lillian. Okay, well, I sort of got Lucy and Lily, so I mean, I think this is probably her. So I think, so Lillian is, she's nodding her head, So Lillian is coming through now for you, Rebecca, so that she can say things to you through me that I couldn't know as proof that she's coming through, all right? It isn't proof, Rebecca. It isn't even the flimsiest form of evidence. It simply doesn't count because these are not controlled conditions for such a claim. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but nonetheless, she's saying, yes. Okay. She's asking if you got the letter. She's asking, did you get the letter, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Obviously this means something to you. I wasn't sure what that was. What is it? What letter is she talking about?
Before she died, she wrote me a letter. Because I was only one.
You were only one? Oh, you were little. And so she wrote it for you to read?
Yeah.
So you did get it and you did read it?
When I was 18, she gave it to my mum and said, don't let her read it until she's 18.
Then that's what she's asking about. So she's asking about this letter as partly to ask and partly as evidence that she's coming through for you, which she isn't, and you understand that. So, look, she's just taking a step back now. I think this is all we're going to hear from her. Sometimes it is so brief. So I think you can probably take a seat for me now, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Let me just take a name out of here. There's a David on top. David, stand up for me. Thank you. If there's any other Davids, feel free to stand as well. Again, if you can pass the microphone back. And forgive me, David, if nobody comes through for you. Again, same thing, all right? If no... No, the lady is for you. Sorry. Okay, this is an older lady as well, possibly. Again, maybe grandmother, perhaps. Oh, I have a name. She says, you haven't known this woman, she's saying, for quite a long time. She can remember how old you were when you last saw her. If you did go to a medium, is there anybody you would hope would come through for you?
My grandma.
Your grandma. Do you know how old you were when you last saw her?
About 12.
About 12. What was her name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. We have her here, right? She's right here. If I think back to my grandmother, I can remember like things that happened to her. Is there something you can remember or something you were told about your grandmother, something I could ask, something that wouldn't happen to everyone's grandmother or something not everyone's grandmother would have done?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can think of that for me, I'm going to ask her to tell me something, but what I find happens in these situations is that she will tell me exactly the same thing that you're thinking of because of the connection between you two at the moment, right? So let me ask her just something that happened when you would have known her. Okay, she's telling me, and she isn't telling me anything, you understand this? I'm making this up, I'm lying to you. She's telling me, I'm going to write this down here. Okay, slow down a second, 1 second. Hang on, I'm just going to, hang on a minute, and don't look behind you because it's up on the wall, but don't look, right? I'm just going to ask her for a bit more information about this. Got it, okay. All right. Where did your mind go? When I said for you to think of something that happened, what did you think of?
A story my mum told me about my mum and my grandma when they went on holiday.
Where did they go?
They went to Gibraltar.
What happened?
I think they went to Spain, but they went to Gibraltar for a day trip.
What happened?
She got bit by a monkey on Gibraltar Rock.
This is precisely what she's told me. Again, I got bitten by a monkey at Gibraltar Rock. She's heading back. I'll tell you what, I've probably just got time for one more. Oh, no, I won't. No, somebody is pushing their way forward. Okay, I have a lady, there's probably quite a forthright character in life, I would think. This is a lady in her 70s, I would think, early 70s, asking for, I'm sorry? For Georgina? Is there a Georgia or a Georgina? Could you stand up for me? Thank you. So this is a lady in her 70s. I was going to just get a... Have you got the microphone? Can we pass the microphone across? So this is a lady in her 70s. Again, have a little think. I've got a name. She's given me some information about herself. She says, could this be grandmother as well, you're thinking?
Yeah.
She's got... How old... You may not know. Do you know how old your grandma was when she died?
I think she was 72.
And her name?
Doris.
Doris, okay. Again, we have her here, which we don't, all right? Is there something, she's saying, I've got a few people coming up on both sides now, which is making this a little bit tricky, but I just want to focus on Doris here for a moment. She's saying she got sort of brown hair, which is probably maybe unusual for a lady in her 70s, is that right?
Yeah.
She's not grey.
No.
Unusually, not grey hair. I can see her, she's very clearly here, which she isn't, again. I've got people coming up on both sides. She's saying she had a dog, that you'd remember her dog.
Yes.
Is that right? You'd remember her dog, you liked her dog. People coming up on both sides. I've got a lot of people, I think anybody now that any of you were hoping to contact, I now have coming up on stage. On both sides, as well as the deceased friends and relatives of 2,000 people behind me. I also have making their way up both sides up here onto the stage. They're all talking at the same time, but I want to get this right because they're all saying the same thing. So I just want to get this right. It's obviously important because they're all saying the same thing. Okay, thank you. All right, I've got it. They are saying if they ever get the chance to communicate with the living, they promise you they will not do it through some needy showbiz performer. They promise you that. No one has the right to trample on your memories of people that you've loved. It's just disgusting. Did you know her dog's name?
Zelda.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 9. Can you 9 just stand yourselves down here? And can the rest of you head back? Thank you so very much for letting me do that. Please give them a hand as they go back. Thank you so much. What's your name? Emma. Nice to meet you. Emma, and you are? Johnny. Emma and Johnny, let's go. Johnny, can you stand behind that table there for me? Thank you so much. Can the rest of you just gather around me here? I just need you to check something, and it's so important. I know I've said this once, but I want you to check again that I'm not wearing any kind of earpiece. Stick your fingers in, have a proper look. Go on. Have a proper look. Go on. Oh, you're actually doing that. People don't normally bother. Yeah. Go on, stick your fingers in, have a proper look. It's so important you know now that what's happening, that I'm doing for real, right? I'm not being fed any information. 2 years ago, I started a memorization project in anticipation of the finale of this show. I memorized 2 iconic works of British fiction. The first one I learnt was this, the complete works of Shakespeare. I learnt these, I have memorized these, this particular edition as well, pretty much word for word. So that's the first thing, complete works of Shakespeare. Any Americans in the audience? Very famous novelist. Next iconic work of British fiction are our bus timetables. I've learned number 1 to number 799, so nearly 800 bus routes. And just the routes, just the stops, not the times as well, otherwise that'd be mental. Was it Johnny as well? Was it? Johnny, thank you. So Johnny, there's a horn here which you'll be sounding in a minute, pressing the button at the top, a bowl of rice, and some talcum powder. So knock yourself out. I'll explain those in a minute. Can you gather yourselves around here so you've each got a bowl in front of you? Just 4 down this side, 4 down that side. Lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, just bring yourselves around, 4 on each side. Thank you so much. The bowls all have dice in. You have 1 die each. So if you give them a few rolls, just so you're happy they're all regular dice and so on, which they are. While you're doing that, in the audience, if you have calculators, can you please turn them on for me? Turn on your calculators. If you have an iPhone, please turn it landscape. This is really important. It'll open up the scientific mode. It means you can deal with longer strings of numbers, which you will need. Thank you, good. Next, a couple of Rubik's Cubes. We're going to hand them out on this side. If you get them, we'll maybe start towards the back. If you just mix them up and just pass them forward. Thank you so much. Would you mind taking them? Thank you. Just make sure people pass them forward when you from the back. Lovely. And if you end up with them here at the front, can you stick them just sort of here on the top for me? Thank you. So I can grab them. Good. Okay. While that's going on this side, I'd like somebody to write down a 10-digit number. If somebody can write down a 10-digit number for me, please. Thank you. So Usher, please, pen and paper. That'd be lovely. So while they're writing down a 10-digit number, we are going to use these dice to generate an 8-digit number. So basically, we'll roll them in a minute again, and I'll take a line down this side and then back up this side. So at the moment, it would go 3, 2, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5,
2 would be our 8-digit number. So pick them up for me. We're going to roll them again. This time when we roll them, though, I'm going to write whatever we get on this board up here, and you have to write this number. You have to put this number into your calculators. So get ready to type in this next 8-digit number, all right? So go on, give them one more roll. Take whatever we get this time. So the first one is 4, yes? So 4. The next one?
6.
6. Next?
3.
3.
2.
2.
6.
6. Make sure you're typing these in.
4.
4.
2.
2. Is it 2, 2 at the end? You're both 2. Yeah, lovely. 2, 2. All right, so make sure you got that. 4, 6, 3, 2, 6, 4, 2, 2. Make sure you have that typed in. Brilliant. You've generated a random 8-digit number. You've done it perfectly. You may now head back and watch the rest of the show from your seats. But thank you so much. Please give them a hand. That way, if you don't mind, our random number generators. Okay, here we go. When I was at secondary school, I was a member of the music school gang, also known as the Puff Gang, less charitably by the rest of the school. And around this sort of age, so kind of like sort of 15, 16, that kind of age, I thought that I was, really, this is sort of 15, 16. Is that the Rubik's Cube's back? It is, thank you so much. Hang on. Rubik's Cubes are back. Thank you. All right. Good. Thank you for that. Yes, good, lovely. So, around that age, 15, 16, I thought that I was, really wanted to be, Ren McCormack. Any of you know Ren McCormack? Ren McCormack was the Kevin Bacon character in the film Footloose. It was very popular at the time. It's kind of how I saw myself at that age. This kind of infamous outsider figure, earning the respect of his peers through the gift of dance. And here I am at the age of 15, rocking the sateen trousers. Hope you enjoy them. And I did have a nickname at school as well. It wasn't Ren or Footloose or anything. It was quite simply Dick Brain. Was my nickname as well. Thank you for laughing and bring it all back. And I was called Dick Brain because I could do things like a Rubik's Cube behind my back and mental maths tricks and human calculator stuff and that sort of thing. So I thought I would show you how I earned the title Dick Brain at school. So, Johnny, can you pick up the horn for me? In a minute, you are going to sound that horn. It's the button on the top. When you do, a countdown will start. So I normally do this in 10 minutes, but I'm going to try tonight to do it in 9.5, just to kind of beat my own record. The last minute will come up as a countdown on the back wall. When that countdown reaches 0, that is the end of the show. All right, there's no encore. There's no, it just finishes. That's the final moment of the show, and that gets to 0. And I think we have everything in place. The Rubik's Cubes are back. Thank you for doing that. We have a number generated by the dice. Hopefully now someone's got a 10-digit number they're hanging on to, and Johnny has the horn. Good. Okay. When I give you the signal, in a minute, nice and loud and clear. Actually, sorry, one. Or a lot of you will still be at school, or college, university even, if you are a bit of a dick brain, or you just made to feel like one every day when you go in, can I just promise you that all of those really cool kids, the sporty cool guys and the skinny pretty girls, all grew up to have the most boring adult lives and jobs, because they never had to forge their own path when they were younger. They never had to find their own way when they were little. And if you are having to do that now, it is tough. But I promise you, you grew up to have the most brilliant and creative adult life. Yeah? Who ever heard of a musician or an artist who just fitted in really easily at school? Nobody. So dick brains unite. Yes? Okay, thank you. Johnny, sound the horn on the count of 3. I was going to... Sorry, put it down. That's fine, thank you. You can put it down. Okay, first dick brain trick. Don't look at them, but it's the numbers behind me on the board, the 8-digit number. Don't look at them. Look at me for a minute. Can you remember the 8-digit number generated by the dice without looking at them? Okay, you can look at them now. The number is 4632642. Backwards, 22462364. Most of it would have always to alternate, so give me a big shout if this is right. First, last, second in second in, third in third in. I'll end up in the middle. It goes 4, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, 2, 6. Yes? Yes, thank you so much. Jesus. Thank you.
Next dick brain trick is the memorised bus route. So look, these first 3 digits of our 8-digit number will give us the bus route, all right? 463. Do you want to look it up? It's in the blue book. 463. Now, you do not have a 463 round here, or at least not one that I know. 463 I'm doing here is nearer London. Can you stand in front of the mic for me with it, please? So if I get this right, just shout out nice, clear yes into the mic. The first stop of 463 bus route is Coulsdon South Station, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. And I have done this. So here's how you can do it. And by the way, you can feign enthusiasm if you like, Johnny. I've learned 800 of these. Here's how you can do it. You link pictures together. You turn everything into a picture that you can visualize, and you link it to the next thing. So you have to turn the number into a picture as well. So that's a little bit more tricky. You do it by turning each digit into a letter. And then you make a word out of the letters. So 4, I use an R, because there's an R at the end of 4, right? I use an R. 6, I use a P, because it looks a bit like a P sort of on its side, like a P. And 3, I use an M, because it looks like a 3 on its side, right? So you've got RPM. You make a picture from that, either by adding vowel sounds to make a word, or I just use a record player, because it's RPMs, right? So my image that gives me the first bus stop is a record player, but as it's going round, it's making a fan move. It's sort of operating a fan that is cooling. It's cooling like a little den, like a work den in a station, right? This is a weird image, but it gives me Cools Den Station, right? It gives me Coulsdon Station, which is the first stop. Now, to continue, I just continue with this story in my head. I link to the next image. Nicholas Lyndhurst from Only Fools and Horses, the actor, walks out of the station and down the road. Next stop is Lyndhurst Road, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he walks out to a big clock tower, which is being mounted by some animals. That's it, isn't it? It's Clock Tower Farm, but it's a place called The Mount in Clock Tower Farm.
No.
Pardon?
No.
Clock Tower Farm, The Mount.
It's close.
Clock Tower Farm, The Mount. That is what it is. What does it say?
Clock House Farm.
Clock House Farm, The Mount. All right, sorry, okay. All right, then he goes up to it and he paints it green. Woodcote Green is the next stop.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to rattle through these now. Shout yes for each one that's right, okay? It goes Wallington Station, Forecourt.
Yep.
Wallington Green.
Yep.
Beddington Church.
Yep.
Beddington Asda.
Yep.
Beddington Lane, Jessop's Way.
Yep.
Mitcham East Station.
Yep.
The Wide Way.
Yeah.
Finishing at Pollard's Hill at 6:28 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I've done this right. Good. Thank you. All right, next one. Next is how you apply this. So, here's how you apply it. Pick up the book for me. This is The Complete Works of Shakespeare. Turn to page 264. They should teach this stuff in schools, because it's exactly what you need when it comes to regurgitating information, which is what we need for exams, sadly, nowadays, right? I knew this stuff when I was little, and I don't mean to show off, but I got one of the top marks in the year, in the country, for English A-level, precisely by using this technique. Have you got it? Page 264?
Yeah.
All right, so first word on that page. Have a look at it for me. The first word on page 264 is... First word is the word hearts.
Yeah.
Yes. If I can see it, it goes hearts, comma, and hymen did our hands, new line, unite, co-mutual with most sacred bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have done this for real. Actually, if you go to another page, just do another page. Got a bit of time. Just give me any other page. What have you got? What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
453.
453, just look at page 453. Top one on the page, I'll just give it to you quickly. Is the word 453, birds?
Yeah.
Let me give you the last one on the page. Just quickly get the last one on the page is... Birds, my fair lord, this must be done with haste for lights from dragons. Horses!
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll let your head now. Thank you very much. Johnny, that way if you don't mind. Johnny, everybody, thank you so much. Please, you're enjoying it. Next is the rice. This is a bit of a weird one. The rice, right, 22. I have to pluck out 22 grains of rice from the bowl in one go. Okay, so just to explain, if I got home early from school, my parents were still at work, I'd go next door to Auntie Gwen's house, used to call her Auntie Gwen, and I'd ask to play with the rice. And she'd bring out like this big bowl of rice, or a big jar of rice rather. She'd be in the kitchen, she'd call out numbers, and I'd have to pluck out that number of grains of rice in one go. I got really good at it. And then I stopped doing it because of the whole dick brain thing, right? But years later, when I was coming up with ideas for this show, I thought you might want to see this. So, for your entertainment, I will plug out 22 grains of rice from the bowl, not 21, not 23, ladies and gentlemen, but 22 grains of rice from the bowl in one go. All right, so Dick Brain facts about 22. There are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. There are 22 cards in the tarot deck. Joseph Heller wrote the book Catch 22 in 1961. It became a popular film in 1970. Was top of the cinema charts for 5 weeks. Paul Weller wrote the album called 22 Dreams, which contained 22 songs, including one called 22 Dreams. So there you go, some Dick Brain facts about 22. I do have to talcum powder my hands, otherwise the rice just, kind of sticks and I don't have any control at all. I'm a little bit sick of hearing people say, oh, you just had the rice there and you've just put in the rice in your hand. So, could somebody stand up here just so you can verify this is just talcum powder? Can you see that? Yep. That's all that is. I'm not putting any rice in my hands. Are you happy with that? It's just so the rice doesn't stick. Yes? Yeah, lovely. Okay, thank you. Good. All right, so 22 grains of rice from the bowl. Okay, here we go. Come on then. Come on, 22 grains of rice. Come on. Do it for mummy. Here we go. 22 grains of rice from the bowl. Here we go. 22 grains of rice from the bowl. 20... got one wrong. I'm one out. Let me just move the bowl so you can see them. I'm one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm one out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There it is. 22 grains of rice. Thank you, Auntie Gwen. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next is the human calculator. Adding up numbers faster or as fast in my Dick Brain as you can on a calculator. Somebody got a 10-digit number now. Is there an usher with that person? Can you give me a wave if you've got a torch? Lovely. Hopefully you've got a microphone as well. So can this person, you're going to call out your 10-digit number in a moment. Now, you all have this number in your calculators, 463-26422. Press plus. You're about to add to this number, generated by the dice, a 10-digit number written by somebody in the audience. All right? So when you get this, type it 1 digit at a time, then press equals, so you add them on your calculators. I'm going to add them in my Dick Brain. Here we go. First number, please. Go, nice and clearly. Off you go.
7.
7. Next.
9.
9. Make sure you're all getting these.
2.
2. Keep going.
9.
9 again.
9.
9.
9.
9. Here we go.
7.
Oh, okay. 7.
2.
2. Yep.
4.
4. Last one.
6.
6. Press equals. The total is 7,976,323,668. Am I right? Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Good. Thank you. Next. I just run out of time. I did the extra page in the book. That's my fault. Okay, I was showing off. No, I can't do 2 Rubik's Cubes behind my back in a minute, so I will do 1 Rubik's Cube. Maybe not this one. I'll do the other one. Whoever did these is a fucking sociopath, you can tell. Okay, but behind my back, all right? Behind my back there. Here we go. Behind my back. 1 Rubik's Cube behind the back. Here we go. Went to see Derren Brown.
30 seconds.
How was he? Yeah, he was all right. What was his big finale? He did a Rubik's Cube. What a Dick Brain. Yes, he was, actually. It's funny you should say that. 1 red cross there, green cross at the bottom, L shape there, 20. Red L shape, that's it. Done? Yes? Yes? No, I haven't.
10.
I have. Look,
9.
I've matched
8.
that side to that
7.
side. Can you see that?
6. 5.
And I've matched that
4,
side to that side,
3,
and that side to that
2,
side, and that side to that side, and those two match there, and those two match there. That's how a Dick Brain does a Rubik's Cube. I'm a Dick Brain. I'm Derren Brown. Good night. Thank you. She's coming back through. Amanda, love, stand up, grab the microphone, love. Your grandma, she's come back for the end of the show, so I need a nice clear yes or no from you, right? It's going to be loud and clear. She's saying, I need a yes or no from you. Your phone number, is it... Oh. Is your phone number, is it... Oh, is your phone number 07976 323668?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck me, I'm real. Good night. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you. God, that was quite frightening. Thank you so much for that. It isn't about me this evening, it is about you, so let's talk about you. There are 1,366 of you in tonight. It's a large enough number for you to accurately represent a cross-section of my audiences at large, which means, according to the research I've done on you, and I have done the research on you, you should, as an audience, break down as follows. 89% of you in tonight will have watched at least half of the TV shows that I've made. The remaining 11% only have a vague idea of who I am. You've been dragged along as boyfriends and girlfriends. 72, and thank you for coming. Read my mind. 72% of you represent the typical Channel 4 viewer, which means you'll be, thank you, which means you'll be aged between 16 and 35, like to think of yourself as liberal-minded. You're skeptical of authority, a bit cynical of newspapers. People think of you as being quite extrovert, whereas you know you're more detached. You tend to observe. You're a people watcher. You pick up on things about people that other people miss. You have large DVD collections, including several still in their wrapper. And you're brighter, you have better taste than everyone else you know, and you download far too much internet porn. And of course, the degree... Of course, the degree to which you possess or don't possess these qualities make you more or less responsive to some of my techniques, so let's choose one of you at random, and we'll see how it goes from there. The first tour I did, I used to throw out a frisbee to choose people so you'd know that everyone that comes up is, randomly selected. And there are no stooges, I got an email genuinely from a woman whose daughter had been at the National Frisbee Throwing Championships of that year, was sure she'd see me there, learning my special frisbee aim, I suppose. As far as I know, there are no monkey chucking championships, so I will be chucking my monkey over you during the course of the evening. Third throw of the monkey. Whoever catches the monkey on the third throw, I'd like you to stand up for me. Here is throw number 1. Excellent. Anywhere else, please, for number 2? Throw it again. Throw it again for number 2. Not back at me. Excellent. One more throw. Anywhere you like, please. Throw it again. Excellent. Nicely done. Stand. Ooh, bit of a fight. Stand up for me, lady who caught it. Thank you so much. What's your name? Danny. Danny, do you wear a watch? No. Do you have any jewellery which comes off? Yeah. What have you got? A necklace. Perfect. Thank you. And you're not planning on leaving before the second half for any reason? Okay, Danny, I'm going to use you. Can you see right in the middle of the stage there's a big white card with a large mysterious question mark on it? Danny, on the other side of that card, there's a picture of an animal. And I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You will find yourself naming the animal that's pictured on the other side of the card. You see, I like to start the whole persuasion process before I come out on stage. And ideally before you even come into the theatre, because if you don't know I'm doing it, it makes you more susceptible to it. Danny, did you notice any cryptic images of animals outside of the bar where you come in, where they're handing out the brochures? Shit. That's all right. You're not supposed to notice. This is good. Now, this will affect you a little bit differently because you're stood up and everyone else is sat down, but I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You can't not name the correct animal. It doesn't matter if you change your mind over and over again, because ultimately it'll be the animal that feels right to you will be the animal that matches. I realise this might sound barking mad, being so sure that this will work, but it will work. I won't give you any sort of lead. It will just kind of work itself. Not only on you, Danny, also on your chums that you're sat with there as well, if they're of the same pedigree. So, Danny, give me some thought. There's a good girl. And when you... It's not a dog. It's not a dog or a cat or a monkey. I wouldn't be that obvious. But it is a land animal. Okay? A land animal. So not a fish or a bird. All right? A land animal. A 4-footed animal. All right? So, yes or no... It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. I won't be in a bad mood with you. So it's not a cow. So yes or no? Yes or no, do you have an animal in your mind at the moment? Yeah. You do. Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, I've gone for one, everyone thinks of, everyone goes, you can change your mind. You can change your mind as many times as you like, all right? Don't have to, but if you want, this is when you can do it. So you know you have a chance to change your mind, all right? Do that if you want, or don't, stick with it, I don't mind. And then tell me, yes or no, have you got one now? Yeah. All right, then nice and loud so they can hear you right up at the back of the balcony. What's the animal you're thinking of?
A mouse.
A mouse. Not as many of you are sat there thinking, an elephant, correct? Yes, because this will affect you a little bit differently because you're sat down, she stood up. A mouse. Does that feel like a free choice to you? Yeah. It does. It doesn't just say on the monkey, be a good sport, please say mouse or anything else. It feels like a free choice, yeah? Danny's going to play quite an important part in tonight's show, so it's vital that you are all happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer before we go any further. So if we just bring up the lights, we'll just turn and take a look at Danny for a second and... I realise as we do this, I'm sorry, those of you upstairs, you're not going to be able to see Danny. I apologise for that. Although if you had just paid a little bit more, you might have been able to join in at this point. But
bearing in mind Danny was chosen by the third throw of the monkey quite fairly, even if you can't see it, would you put your hand up if you are happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer, please? Hands up if you're happy with Danny. Okay, it feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, just to be fair, hands up if you are unhappy with Danny for any reason. Please don't put your own hand up at this point, Danny. All right, well, barring about 3 of you, that's an overwhelming vote in your favour, Danny. So why don't you leave the monkey where it is and head up here on stage as quickly as you can. Up you come, Danny. Run, Danny, run. Let Danny through. Run, Danny. Here she comes. Run, Danny, run. That's walking slowly. That's not even a saunter. Hello, Danny. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Would you come and stand over there by the mic for me? Okay, now look, I'm not going to go anywhere near that bit of paper, the card. I don't think I'm going to change it. Equally, I don't want you looking on the other side yet. But, Danny, if you can just go and put your hand on the top of it, so when I tell you to, you can turn it around. Does that make sense? All right? So on the count of 3, I want you to turn it right the way around like that, so you can step back and it leans the other way against the table and they can all see what it is. Does that make sense? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, a mouse, remember? 2, 3. Turn it round. A mouse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, clearly, yes, clearly Danny has some kind of gift. Yeah, you call that psychic or you call that intuition. You are the judges, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mouse. No. That is a baby mouse with the little tits. I don't know what it is. It's not why you're up here, Danny. Come take a step back. It's not why you're up here. Okay, you're actually up here because of this briefcase on the table, all right? I'm going to give you this briefcase for the duration of the show, Danny. Your job is to bring the briefcase back in one piece at the end of the show, all right? Now, hang on. Hang on. There's a chain on top of the case, and hanging from the chain, you might not be able to see at the back, is a padlock. You can see that from here, yep? If you look that way. Yes. Your job during the interval is to try and work out the combination on the lock, all right? So look, you can have a look at it so you can see it clearly. It's a combination lock. So look, very simple. You get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14, yeah, or whatever the number is, and you'll need 3 of those numbers to open the lock, all right? So not a challenge to force it open, but I would like you to try and work it out. So if you grab the case for me, that's for you. Thank you. Also, it's just sat in an envelope. Can you grab the envelope too? And bring both of them over here to the microphone. Put the case down for a second, and you mentioned you wore a necklace, so can I just take that off you, or can you take it off easily? Okay. Bear with us. Thank you so much. Easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's very nice. It's a very nice, it's Elizabeth Duke, I think. Okay. I will give you the necklace back when I get the case back from you in one piece at the end of the show, Danny. All right? I realise that... Stay there! I realise it probably sounds a little untrusting. It is, frankly. I have toured with the show for 2 years, and ever since doing this in Newcastle, I can't be too careful. So I will hand the necklace to my trusty roadie, Stephen, who will look after it for the duration of the show. Thank you, Stephen. If you can come back to the mic for me. To the mic, thank you. Put the case down for a second. Now, before you go back, I'd like you to open up the black envelope for me. Inside is a folded sheet of paper. You need to open that up, and nice and clearly, you don't want to unfold it, but just read out what it says on the outside into the mic. Nice and clearly. Out loud, please.
I promise to look after the case and not to get drunk in the interval and leave it in the toilets. I take full responsibility for a rubbish ending to the show if I lose it. And I'm sorry, I laughed at your drawing.
Hang on.
I can see it was a...
I could see it was a. And the animal you said was a...
mouse.
And I can tell you this, you didn't change your mind, did you?
No.
You stuck with it. Open it up. What does it say?
A mouse.
Show them. Show them. A mouse. Ladies and gentlemen, a mouse it was. Danny, thank you so much. I will see you at the end of the show. Look, grab the case. I'll see you right at the end. Danny, everybody. Excellently done. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is the last night I'm ever going to do this show. Thank you for coming to it. Thank you for packing the place out. Although you probably heard it won the Olivier Award for Best Entertainment this year. That's probably why you came. It doesn't mean anything. It just means if you don't like the show, you're wrong. So, something I'd like you all to do for me. You can all think of, male, the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Think of the surname of the first person you fancied when you were little. Everybody doing it. Surname of the first person you fancied when you were little. I'm going to choose 5 of you at random to come up here as quickly as you can. We're going to do that by throwing the monkey, and the first person I want to come from the dress circle. So if we bring up the house lights, whoever's got the monkey should be somewhere around Danny. Right, sir, stand up. We want to get it up into the dress circle. Go on, go on. Excellent, well done. Oh. Nicely done, okay.
Sir, okay, stand up for us. Stand up. Okay, now, you're the first person. You are number 1 of 5, all right? Going to choose 4 more of you from downstairs, which will give you time to get down here while we're choosing the others. So in a moment, you're going to throw the monkey down here. When you catch the monkey, this is what you do. You need to get up here as quickly as you can, but you also need to throw the monkey again to choose the next person, all right? So if you catch it, you need to head up here, but throw the monkey again. Do you want to throw it down here for the next person, sir? Excellent, here it comes. Somebody catch that. Stand up, throw it again. You head down as quick as you can, sir. Stand up for me, throw it, head up here yourself. Thank you. Thank you, quick as you can. And stand up for me. Stand up, throw it again. Excellent, nicely done. Stand up for me, come up here and throw the monkey again for me. Give it a good throw. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, you're the 5th person. Head up, up you come. Quick as you can, give them a big hand. Thank you very much. Sorry, what's your name?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, I need to put you over here, Charlotte. You can stand right. No, just there for me would be great. Thank you, Charlotte. And you are?
Philippa.
Philippa, stand right in the middle for me. That'll be lovely. Hello. Hello, what's your name? Tony. Tony, we'll put you over here. Tony, if you can stand just sort of about there for me, Tony, that'll be great. Hello, you are? John. John, good to meet you, John. If I can put you just there for me, John, thank you. And you are? Hello. Gary. Gary, good to meet you. Thanks for coming down. If you can just stand there for me. Good. Okay, if you can try and sort of line your toes up a little bit, just so my whole obsessive-compulsive neatness thing can relax. Otherwise, I have got to make you walk up again 3 times in a row while I make weird humming noises in my throat. So let me explain what I want you to do. You're each going to take a ball out of the bag. I have 5 balls in here. That is 1 each, all right? You'll take 1 out, but don't look at it. And don't let me see it, all right? Just take it out, put your hand straight behind your back, okay? So off you go. What was your name again? Tony. Tony, thank you, Tony. And Gary, was it? Gary, thank you, Gary. And your name was? Philippa. Philippa, thank you, Philippa. Have a good rummage around. Thank you. Do you want to take the phone? Was it Dan? John. John, sorry, John, if you take it for me, and then you can pass it to... No, take it for me, John. What was your name at the end? Charlotte. Charlotte, will you make sure you're taking the last ball? Otherwise, somebody hasn't taken one. And just throw the bag off into the side. You can chuck it off there. All right, thank you. 4 of you will have a white ball. 1 of you will have a black ball, because that's what was in the bag, all right? In a moment, I'm going to ask you to have a look and see what you've got. If you are the one person with a black ball, you might be tempted to give yourself away a bit by smirking or laughing or fainting or something. Don't, all right? Keep an absolute poker face. So for now, I'm just going to look over here. Just bring out your hands like this, but keep the ball contained, concealed in your hands. All right, and while I look over here, please just prise apart your thumbs just enough to take a quick private peek at your ball. Very well when I say that. Teetering on smut. When you've done that, please put your hands back behind your back. Thank you very much indeed. In fact, if you've got a back pocket, can you put the ball in your back pocket? If you don't have a back pocket, improvise. Okay, that's for you, Tony, thank you. You're all off the hook now, but you will have in your minds the surname of the first person you had a crush on, yes? I'm going to get you to write down that name for me. Now, like the word mouse, you need to write nice and large and clear, so if we do need to show it around, people can read it. So large, clear, block capital letters, all right? Just the surname. When you've written it, you tear the paper off, please, and just tear straight off. Just fold it up, put it in your pocket, get everything out the way. That's really important, all right? While you're doing that, I shall explain the rules of the game to you, but I need to do this while I'm not looking at you, all right? So please make sure you're listening. 1 at a time, you're going to come up to the microphone. You're going to tell me your name and what you do for a living, and please be honest about that, all right? Then and only then I will ask you a test question. Now, when I ask you the test question, if you're one of the people with a white ball, you must lie in response to the test question, all right? So a white ball is a white lie. Please remember that, guys. If you're the one person with a black ball, though, you always tell the truth. And my task is to work out which one of you is the truth teller, which one of you has the black ball. And all the people I think are lying, I will send back to their seats. Is that all the writing done? Yes? All done? Great. Okay, so then let's start with you, Tony. Why don't you come forward for us? Thank you, Tony. So remember, starting off being absolutely honest. Your name, please, and what you do for a living.
My name's Tony, and I'm a house husband, housewife, whatever.
A house husband or indeed housewife. Okay. Okay, thank you, Tony. Now, you understand the game. I'm about to ask you your test question now. If you've got a white ball, you're going to lie. Black ball, you're going to tell the truth. Bear in mind the chances are pretty high that Tony is going to lie at this point. It's only a 1 in 5 chance that Tony would be telling the truth. So we can almost guarantee you're probably going to tell a big fat lie at this point. So face the front, absolute poker face. You also might want to bear in mind, Tony, that because of the sorts of... Keep facing the front for me. Because of the sorts of unconscious behaviours that we unconsciously choose daily, male subjects tend to give themselves a little bit more away than female subjects, right? But don't let that put you off. Don't let any of this put you off. Otherwise, you'll be even less convincing, all right? So keep facing the front for me. If any of you are so convincing that I believe you, £50. If you lie so convincingly that I think you're telling the truth, 50. It's a lot of money to those people up at the back there. Right?
£50 if you lie so convincingly that I believe you. All right, so here we go with your test question. Face the front for me, Tony. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2. Can we get a little bit more light on Tony, please? Just a little bit more light. Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's your mother's maiden name?
Haggerty.
Just to reiterate to the rest of you, your task is to lie as convincingly as you can. It wasn't bad. There was just a very strange pause there. Don't believe a word of it. I'm going to take your white ball off you, send you back to your seat, Tony. There you go. 1 down. Thank you, Tony. Nicely done, though. Not bad at all. I'll let you head back. Not bad at all. That was unfair. That was unfair. I didn't give him any time to think of a better answer, and understandably, he flummoxed. You guys have an advantage. I will ask you the same question. I will ask you the same question, your mother's maiden name. Even now, you can be thinking up a nice, convincing answer, all right? As a tip, come out with the name of someone else you know. That's often more convincing than trying to make up a name, right? But we'll see how it goes. Let's go with Charlotte. Come forward. If you can just stand there for me. Into the microphone. Your name and what you do for a living?
My name's Charlotte and I work for London Ambulance Service.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I work for London Ambulance.
London Ambulance Service, excellent, thank you so much. All right, so Charlotte, you understand the game. What is your mother's maiden name?
Haylock.
Okay, very open, relaxed, innocent. I'll keep you back in line for the moment, very good. Maybe too relaxed and innocent, that's the only thing. Normally when people are put on the spot, they do tend to act a little bit guilty. That's, like if the police knock on your door and you haven't done anything, but you act like you've murdered somebody because they are stood right there, It's, the police knock on your door because, the girl had said she was older than she was when you were on tour or whatever that is for you. Let's go with Gary. Do you want to come forward for us? So, your name and what you do for a living, please be honest.
My name's Gary, and I work in IT.
Very good, thank you, Gary. And I'm going to ask you the same question, so here we go. Your mother's maiden name, please.
Johnson.
Okay, spoke about being too innocent here. The opposite's also true. Very difficult not to blush if you know you've been caught out in a lie. That's a very common response because lying has a terrible stigma attached to it in our culture. We use words like, you dirty liar. No, you filthy liar. You dirty, filthy, stinking liar. We use words like that. Very difficult not to blush. If you know you've been caught out, you know what blushing is. It's just blood that kind of rises up through the collar line. You get that sort of warmth across your forehead and across your cheeks too. And there you go. Lovely shade of beetroot. I'm going to take your little white ball off you. Send your big red face back to your seat, Gary. Excellent. Nicely done, though. Thank you very much indeed. All right, so let's go with John. Would you want to come forward for us? Thank you, John. And into the microphone, please. Your mother's maiden name is?
Smith.
Okay, I'm going to keep you. Back in line, please. Philippa, you're last. If you can come forward for me, too. Oh, it's what I call the walk of shame. Did you see it? It's this kind of... Okay, it's that sort of... It's the walk of somebody who doesn't want to walk forward. It is the walk of a woman burdened by her own guilt. A woman on her way to the gallows. I won't even ask you to say a word. I'm going to take your white ball off you, send you back to your seat, Philippa. There we go. 1 down. Thank you, Philippa. So it's one of you two. Would you both come forward for me? Both of you come forward for me, please. Okay, stand. If you can just stand and face each other sort of about there, that'll be great. Lovely. All right, so look, one of you two is the final liar, one of you two is the truth teller. All right? For this last round, I won't ask you your mother's maiden name. I will ask you the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young, all right? However, for this last round, you only answer in your head. You say nothing out loud, all right? You only answer in your head. Same rules applies. If you've got the white ball, you're going to lie. You're going to think a lie. Black ball, you're going to think the real name, which you only do it in your head. You say nothing out loud. Is that clear? Yep. Okay, both of you turn and face the front for me. Thank you. In your mind, then, not out loud, think of the surname of the first person you had a crush on. Do that for me now. And as you're doing this, what we're looking for, they're called micro-signals. Tiny flickers of guilt. Oh, nicely done. Thank you. Keep facing the front. Don't look. I'll tell you what I think. I think our truth teller is on this side. A lot of you are going to have this round the other way. I think this is our truth teller here. I think our final liar is here. All right? Truth teller here, final lie here. If I'm wrong, all right, it's this person who gets the £50 because this is the person. It's difficult. Well, £40. We'll say £40. If I'm wrong, because this is the person I think is telling the truth on this side. I love this game. Let's find out. Can you both of you just get the ball ready first behind your back? Just make sure you're holding on to it. Don't let anybody see. Hold on to it behind your back. Done? Done? Yes? Okay. All right. For £30, will the truth teller please place her or his black ball into my hand?
Yes, excellent. Thank you so very much. Stay right there. Which means you've got the last white ball, is that right? Thank you very much, John. I'll ask you to go and sit back down again, but thank you very much indeed.
Now, you're all intelligent people. You know that these skills are not psychic. And if you watch the TV shows, you'll know my skill base is magic, suggestion, psychology, misdirection, and showmanship. And as part of that, I kind of give myself permission to be a bit dishonest with you sometimes if I think it heightens the effect, but I'm always honest about my dishonesty. Yeah? Unlike the psychic industry, which is occasionally well-meaning, but always based on dishonesty. And big business too. There are some brochures outside in the foyer, things that are kind of going on around London. There are some fantastically expensive courses you can go on if you want to learn psychic powers. And if you choose page £1,400 a week to learn rubbish, then that's up to you, but there are some brochures out in the foyer. And Charlotte, was it? Thank you so much for coming up. Look at me now and just sleep. Just sink right the way down, right the way deep, right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking and floating. Take all the time you need to do this. Right the way deep and right the way sound asleep. Now, you can still hear and understand everything that I'm saying. That's really important. But this will allow you to do this perfectly. What I want you to do in your mind, Charlotte, nothing out loud, is first of all to picture that person, that first person you had a crush on. And as you picture him stood there, I want you in your mind just to begin to repeat that name to yourself over and over again. In your mind, please, nothing out loud. Nothing out loud, just repeating the name to yourself over and over again. And as you do that, as you whisper the name to yourself, not moving a muscle, I want you to begin to move the picture in a little bit closer to you, so it's a little more clear, that you can really look at the picture and see it really clearly in front of you. Good. And just saying it to yourself over and over again, saying the name, and each time that you whisper it, just getting a little bit clearer, a little louder in your mind, but with a nice warm sense of a whisper. Okay, stay. You're doing absolutely great for me, Charlotte. Stay right there for me. Let me show the rest of you. I'm sort of going to half guess this because I'm not sure. So it probably won't be this exactly, all right? So it's a bit of a guess, but it'll be something like that. It's a bit difficult because there's only the one plosive at the beginning, which doesn't really help. But it'll be something like this. If it's not this exactly, it'll be something similar. I hope you can all see that. Okay. So Charlotte, you take all the time you need, please, just to slowly reorientate yourself back to the room and take all the time you need to come back to us. Okay? It's weird, isn't it? You all right? Okay, nice and honest. Please, honestly, into the mic. The name of the first person you had a crush on.
Price.
Thank you so much. Brilliantly done. Thank you. I'll let you head back. Charlotte, everybody. Thank you, Charlotte. Excellently done, Charlotte. Thank you. Where is Danny? Danny with a case. Where are you, Danny? Danny with a case. Danny, you've got 20 minutes to work out the combination on that lock. And even if you can't do that, please at least try different numbers. All right? Different numbers. Pull at the lock so you know it's a real lock. All right? I'll tell you this, Danny. By now, you know what the combination is on that lock. You just don't know that you know. But you've got 20 minutes to do that. The rest of you have 20 minutes to go get a drink. I will see you back here for the second half. Thank you.
for me. Just check that it's solid and sharp on the end. Yeah, thank you. Take hold of the end. You don't pull, you just hold it tight, all right? Don't move. Try and keep your hand really still. Nice and tight, don't move. Don't let go. Still, nice and tight. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you, Kat. I did that on television a couple of years ago, and I got a lot of people. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry. eBay, obviously. A lot of people asking me why I did it. You know, do you hammer daily a number 14 male into your head? And no, I don't. But the reasons for doing it led to the formation of the second half of this show, which is kind of the use of the techniques on myself. And I do use them on myself for physical reasons. And there are one or two things I'm going to do in this half that Channel 4 won't let me do on television without putting a warning up on the screen. But I am allowed to do them in the theatre. Okay, I'm going to try and get this up in the dress circle. When you get it, will you throw it back for me? Not back down here, but back up in the dress circle to somebody else, all right? Here it comes. Right, throw it up there again, not down here, just back up to somebody else up there, please. And I'm going to take the nearest guy, wherever it lands. Nearest guy, would you stand up for me, please? What's your name? Stephen. Stephen, what are you wearing on your feet? Boots. Boots, fantastic. Please leave the monkey where it is. Stephen, head down here as quickly as you can. Stephen, everybody, thank you very much. And from downstairs, I need a lady. A lady who is medically trained. A lady who is medically trained. So would you stand up for me? Just if you're medically trained, would you stand up for me? What's your name, lady in the front? Ruth, what do you do, Ruth? Physiotherapist. Physiotherapist, thank you. Stay right there for me. Lady behind me, what's your name? Amy. Amy, what do you do, Amy? Cabin crew. Cabin crew. Ruth, I think I will go with you, Ruth, if that's all right. So, Ruth, could you head up here? A round of applause for Ruth. Thank you very much indeed. Ruth and Stephen. Stephen, thank you so much. Thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Thank you. Stay right there for me. Thank you so much. Would you both follow me around the back here, please? Thank you.
And if you can stand there for me, Stephen, just turn and face that way. That's great, Stephen. Ruth, you can come around here, please. Mind the hammer, mind the cable. Just stand there for me and face out that way for me too. That's great. Pain is very subjective. It's a subjective thing. Like when you're young and you tear around influential and you cut yourself and you don't realise that you're cut until you look down and you see the blood and then suddenly it starts to hurt. Or when you're in the bath and you've got your feet stuck out and there's hot water dripping on your toe and you don't know it's the hot tap, you think it's the cold tap. Suddenly when you look down and see it's the hot tap, suddenly it's scalding hot. Pain is very subjective. Okay, we're going to break some more glass. Ruth and Stephen, I need you to check these are real bottles. Would you please do that for me? When you're happy that's real glass and real bottles, you can just place them, stand them on the floor in front of you. When you've done that, I'd like you to put these goggles on for me. And then I'd like you to place the gloves on for me too. It's just red wine stains on that, Stephen, you'll be fine. Okay, you're right-handed, aren't you? So if you can crouch down for me, Ruth, and with your left hand, I'd like you to take hold of the neck of the bottle through the towel, so like that, thank you. You're right-handed as well, if you can crouch down for me. Same thing. Left hand around the neck of the bottle, like that for me. Thank you, Stephen. All right. There's the hammer, Ruth. I need you to bring it down, break the bottle into small pieces. You have to go really hard, right in the middle. Go. That's fantastic. You want to give it one more, or are you happy with that? Are you going to stand up for me? Stephen, there you go. Nice and hard, please. Fantastic. Stand up for me too, Stephen. Thank you. Okay. Now this is all a bit pointless if you think I'm using fake glass, and you'd be forgiven for that because this is often done with fake glass. So I'm going to ask you both, starting with you, Ruth, if you can just step forward, Ruth, onto the tarpaulin for me. Now please don't kneel, but if you can just crouch down and pick up a couple of pieces of glass. You're the eyes of the audience here. Have a look at them for me. Is it real glass?
Yes.
And the edges haven't been rounded down or anything like that?
No.
And sharp edges too, yes? Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to just place them back in the pile for me? Thank you so much. If you can just drop the, place the gloves and goggles back in that bucket nearest you, that'd be great. Stephen, if you're happy to, I'd love you to take these gloves off and pick up a piece in your bare hand so people know that it really is real, all right? But you'll be careful, yes? Thank you. So just a single piece or a couple of pieces. Okay, is that real glass?
Yeah.
All right, are you happy this is real? Do you want to keep checking, or are you happy? Please be careful.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're happy? Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Great, thank you. Take the goggles off now. I'll take them back from you, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you. See, there are tools and techniques that I've taken on board and made part of who I am, which go back through a tradition of performers who had their heyday in the 1930s. And these are very diverse people. These are vaudevillians and fakirs. And there was one man around that time who went under the name of the Great Prestoni. That was the name that he used. And what Prestoni did, no one has done since him. Prestoni was able to cut off the oxygen to his brain. And it allowed him to achieve two things. First of all, he could be cut, and he wouldn't bleed because it affected the flow of blood throughout his whole body. And secondly, he could withstand massive amounts of pain in relative comfort. And Prestoni was one of a tiny handful of people in history that have done this using real glass. And I became obsessed with this man. I studied everything I could to do them. I spent time with his two daughters that he taught his act to, and they taught it to me. And for me, it's an honor, genuinely, to be able to perform this in such a prestigious theatre. Prestoni died a drug addict and an alcoholic. Because that state that he put himself into, it's called cerebral anoxia. It's a lack of oxygen to the brain. It's incredibly addictive.
and I shouldn't say this, when you come out of it, it's euphoric. Then that can lead to an addictive personality, which is ultimately why Prestoni died in the way that he did. Ruth, would you come around here for me? Come around this side. Ruth, this is not the nicest job in the world, but I need you to check my feet. All right? I need you to check that there's no special skin or anything attached to them. I'm sorry, it's very warm.
No,
up
just
here.
nice, sweaty feet.
Thank you, yeah, I apologise for that. But nothing attached, the skin hasn't been toughened or anything like that?
No, it's quite soft.
Thank you, thank you. Would you come and check the other one? I think you'll find this one even softer.
That's
Real feet?
beautiful.
Thank you. Let's do with that. Real feet. Happy?
Real feet, yeah.
Great. Could you come back round here for me? I'm going to ask you to take that drumstick just out of the bag there for me. I'll let you do that. Actually, first of all, I'm going to ask you to take my pulse. If you take the pulse with your right hand here, and then with your left hand to tap out the pulse that you feel on the end of the mic with the drumstick. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, fairly comfortable with that? Yeah. Does it seem a little fast or quite relaxed?
No,
or?
quite regular.
Quite regular, great, okay. So in order to do this and to put myself into the state that Prestoni would, I'm going to put a plastic bag over my head. Would you take the bag off for me, Ruth? So look, I'm not going to suffocate, thank you, because I'll be holding onto the bag, all right? So if I did pass out, air would come up into the bag and I'd be fine, all right? So if you were just as a nurse or as a physiotherapist, please resist the urge to pull the bag back off my head. As we do this, I want you to carry on taking my pulse, all right? Yeah. Now, the point is the pulse should change. It's really important that you accurately reflect on that, what you feel in my arm, all right? Can you feel anything? till you feel it kicking. Get ready. Yeah? Yeah? Good. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Ruth. Let me take that from you. Ruth, everybody. Ruth and Stephen, thank you very much. And let's ask you to go back that way from me. Stephen, everybody. Thank you. Oh, your feet hurt, but you do kind of feel all buzzy. It's all kind of, for me, about you facing the fear of pain, if you like. Oh, excuse me. And the flip side of it is using pain. And this kind of goes back to when I was at school. Can I get a lady up here? Can we throw the monkey from wherever it is, from down up there, I think? And I'll just choose the nearest lady. You throw it down for me, nearest lady, wherever it lands. Just give it a good throw, any way you like. Great, thank you. Nearest lady. I think that's going to be you. Would you leave the monkey? Unless you bring the monkey with you. Would you head up for me? Thank you so much. No. Excellent. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Hello. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you. Just come over here for me. Thank you. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. You're not a therapist, are you?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Lucky guess. Chris, show me your hands first of all. Okay. No. Perfect. Lovely. Chris, were you picked on a bit when you were a kid at school?
No.
No. Okay. I was. There was a kid called John, who wasn't very nice, and he used to tip all my bags up in the corridor, Chris, and then when I'd bend down and pick the stuff up, he'd give me a good kicking, and this used to go on regularly, and this was primary school, and I was quite young, and I didn't cry about it, Chris. What I did to distract myself from what was going on is I would count the things that fell out of my bag, you know, so if it was pencil shavings, literally, I'd count them, I'd add them up, or if a book fell open, I'd count the words on the page to distract me from what was going on, and it meant, as an adult, Chris, that I've kind of learned to associate the ability to make quite rapid calculations in my head with the experience of pain. Come with me. Over here for me. You're right-handed, aren't you? So if you hold that in your left hand for me, I'm going to ask you, with your right hand here, there's a bowl of buttons on the table. There's about 100 or something in there. You're going to reach in with your right hand, take handfuls of buttons, and place them on the tray in your left. Okay, please make sure they don't go on the table or the floor, because they fall off on this stage and I'll trip up and so on. Don't do it yet. You're going to wait till I'm looking the other way. Don't take them all, but I do want a lot of buttons on there. All right, I'd leave some there, but several handfuls. You do that for me now, Chris? I'm not looking. Just do mine where they go. Done? Can you cover the tray up for me? Is that it? You happy? Could you cover the tray up for me with those? Thank you. And can you cover up the bowl with this black cloth, please, just so I can't see how many are left. But do keep hold of the tray, and if you can bring the tray and come and stand behind me here, and hold it as you were, so with your left hand by the side of the tray, but underneath the cloth. But underneath the cloth. That's great, perfect. In a moment, I'll ask you to pull the cloth off, so you'll need to... It's fiddly, isn't it? Okay, thank you. Good. All right, now slap me. But really hard, really hard. Go on. It's not hard. Go on, really hard. Go on, really hard. Go on. Oh! Cloth off! Take the cloth off, quick! Quick! Off! Take the cloth, 60... Oh, I've lost it. 63. I'm going to say 63. On the table. Put the tray on the table for me. 63 buttons. Take a seat. Okay. You're going to move them all down this end for me, and you're going to count them two at a time towards you. Do take your time with this so you can do it accurately. 2, thank you, 4, out loud. 6, 8,
10,
12, take your time. 14, 16, 18. Hang on, pause a second. I'm going to say, sorry, I wore off. I'm going to add a few. I'm going to say 66. 66. All right, forgive me. Was that 18?
18.
So 20. Okay. 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Count with me, please. 34, 36, 38, 40. Okay, go on. 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Okay, pause for a second. The number is 66. Give me one either way, but I'm going to go with 66. Go. 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Now one at a time for me, please. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Spot on! 66 buttons. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Actually, Chris, come back. Chris, come back, Chris. Come back. So I want to try that again, because I thought I didn't get the number straight out. Let me try that again. You do exactly the same thing. You were great. I'm going to try it a little bit differently. It'll make it more difficult, but let me try this a different way. So several handfuls. Off you go. Just like before. Thank you.
Done? Yep. Okay, cover it up for me, same thing. Thank you. And then cover the bowl up as well. Come and stand back here again. Excellent. All right. Okay. Same thing, except this time what I want to do is I want to count them while they're moving. All right? So what you need to do is you need to start the tray moving, ideally before you even pull the cloth off. Because I will start the fraction of a second I see the buttons. So please make sure they're moving around. Jiggle the tray around. Are you ready? Slap me again. Go on.
That's what I don't like.
No, I know. Go on. One more. Up a bit. Off! Take the cloth off! Cloth off! Keep them moving! Take the cloth off! Take the cloth off! Keep them moving! Keep them moving, sir! 76. It might be 77. I'll say 76. On the table. On the table. I'll say 76. Move them all up this end. Same thing, please. Two at a time. Just to start them right up this end for me, Chris, otherwise it'll be more difficult to tell. Okay, 2, 4, 6,
8,
10, yep.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22,
Yep.
24,
26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Just pause for a second and just move those right down there. 76, 77, I'll say 76. I'll go 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70. One at a time. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. With the moving! With the moving! Chris, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. That was a punch. That was a fucking punch, that last one. She's so done that before. Okay. Going to show you something now, and it's the end of the show. But it's kind of, for me, it's the most interesting thing, because you will do this yourself now. You will do this. I don't do this. You do it. And you can't not get it right. You have to do this right. Because if you've watched and listened over the last couple of hours, hour and a half, you will get this. I'll show you. It's this. It's this. It's this. It's an envelope. I'm going to put it here. It's a prediction, if you like, a prediction of the future, of decisions that you're going to make, which will lead to what's in that envelope. And you have to. You can't not make those decisions. You can't not make decisions that will lead to what's in there. It's inevitable. What's in there is inevitable. Ish. Okay. I'm going to throw these out. These are heavier than you think, so if one comes at you, please catch it, all right? Don't sit there going, no, I won't, because it will just, you know, they are heavy. These are today's papers. Today's papers, you grab them for me there. Thank you for the Times. Let's go over there. Somebody catch for me. Sorry. Daily Mail over there. Thank you very much. Okay. Daily Mail. Oh, we've had the Daily Mail. I'm sorry. Independent. Let's get one up there. Catch for me. Thank you. Got another Independent. There are a couple of duplicates. So somebody catch this up there. Ready? Oh, heavy, heavy. You all right? You okay? Count the buttons. Have a go. Just go and get it. Whose phone's that? Whose phone was that? Don't answer it. It's really bad news. The Sun. Great, thank you. Let's get another one up there. This is the Mirror, Daily Mirror. Somebody catch? Will you throw that one back again for me so somebody else gets it? Try and get that one round towards the middle there, all right? Telegraph, over there, downstairs. Somebody catch for me, please. And can we move that one that way a little bit? Just trying to spread them all out. And the Guardian, you have the one over there if you like. And the Evening Standard. All right, spread this one out. I'll move it. Can you? It won't go as far. Will you throw it over that way, please, so they all spread out? That is 10 of today's papers. Now we need Danny. Danny with the case. Do you want your necklace back, Danny? Where are you? Where are you, Danny? Bring the case up. Head up here quick as you can. Keep it going for Danny. Come on, Danny, run. Let's keep it going for Danny. Danny, thank you so much. Please check your necklace is okay. What paper do you read, by the way? What do you read? What? Okay, let me just get rid of that. Sorry, let me chuck that on there. Any of you, sorry, is that all right? Do you want to put it in your pocket for now? Rather than put, yeah, great. Come and stand over here for me. Okay, if any of you have got the papers that match the papers you read at home or anything, just please take them home with you so you can check at the end, you know, that they are real papers, which they are. It'll give you a chance to check that. Okay, so you tried lots of different numbers on here? Yeah, any luck at all?
No.
No. Did you try your birthday?
No.
No, sometimes people do. Okay, but you tried lots of different numbers and, okay, all right, good. Good. Okay, so we need to get this open. So, could you, if you've got a paper in your hand, I'd like you just to hold it up in the air for me and just wave it in the air. Leave the band on it, but move it around, please. Keep it waving. Will you please choose someone who's got their hand up?
Over there in the green.
Lady in the green, do you stand up for me for a second? Thank you so much. Ready, we can put your papers down. Okay, your name, please?
Kirsty.
Kirsty, thank you. And the paper you've got is?
The Daily Mail.
The Daily Mail. Thank you so much. Are you happy to do this with Kirsty?
Yep.
Yep, happy to do it with the Daily Mail?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, and if you are, because all these things we can change as you go along, all right? You need to know these are your decisions that you can change. Great. So, Kirsty, for now, I'll ask you to sit back down, and the rest of you, take your papers, please, home with you. Kirsty will come back to you in a second. All right, so look, if I asked you, turn and face me, if I asked you what the combination was in that lock, you'd have to say you didn't know.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you could know, all right? But part of that is you thinking it's impossible, because it sounds impossible, but, you know, there's only 3 numbers you've got to get. You know which number's between 0 and 39, because you'll have worked that out.
Yeah.
So if I told you that you did know what the numbers were, all right, and instead of you going, oh, I don't know what they are, just to think, yes, I do know what they are. Like you're playing a game where you're pretending to be psychic and thinking, yes, I know what the numbers are. Does that make sense? So you think it's easy. It's an easy thing to know. So if I told you you knew the first number in the combination, what is that? What's the first number? Say it.
1.
You think it's 1. Then turn it to 1. Turn it to 1. Excellent. Come back to me. All right. So you've had 1 as the first number in the combination. So now we've got the next number in the combination, all right? So again, just believing that you know it. Don't think, oh, you're just thinking, yes, I do know it, all right? So what's the next number in the combination that will open the padlock? What is it? Between 0 and 39. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, all right? So what's the next number in the combination? Look at me.
24.
24. Very good. Turn it to 24. Excellent. Very good. These numbers just popping into your head, yes? Yep. Okay, so we've had 1 and we've had 24. Now, what's the last number going to be, look at me, in the combination which opens the padlock? What's the last number?
15.
Say?
15.
15. No, but you're slightly questioning it. You want to change one of those 2 digits. You're going to change the 1 or the 5?
The 5.
The 5. Great. And what are you going to change it for?
3.
3. So the final number is?
13.
13. Turn it to 13 for me. And pull.
Down.
Nicely done, Danny. Nicely done. Well done. Take the chain off for me, Danny. Take the chain off, just on the floor. Right, put the case down on the table. And I want you to just press in the little white buttons there, and then you better lift the top half up. Do that for me. Great. Yeah, you can just lift. That's great. What's inside? What is that?
I hope it's not a mouse.
No, what is it?
It's bots.
Another case. Take it out for me. There are 14 of these. Bear with us. Take it out for me. Take it out. OK, now look, the important thing is inside this, all right? Because I did this because I thought you might sneak a look in the side of that or crowbar it open. So the important thing's inside the case, inside the case. We will come back to that in a little bit. All right, you chose a paper which was the Daily Mail, OK? And you didn't want to change your mind, so we're going, it was Kirsty, isn't it? So, Kirsty, we need to choose a page from the Mail. You are a little bit far away, so can I just grab a paper from the front there? Is that one of mine or one of the... Is that one of mine? This is today's paper. Can you just verify into the mic there, please, that is today's date, yes?
Yeah.
Well, if any of you get the Times, you'll recognise it. Britain vows to imprison the tyrants of Africa. You'll recognise that if you get the Times. Now, these headlines are written to influence us. The way we think about the article, the way we read the issue, even the way we vote sometimes, all right? And similarly with advertising slogans, not like that. It affects the way we think about the product, the way we spend our money. I'm going to read you a bunch of headlines or advertising slogans. Your job, Danny, is to stop me any way you like while I'm reading one out. Whatever page we're on, that is the page we'll go with. But not in this, we'll go with it in the Mail over there with Kirsty. All right, does that make sense? So when you do say stop, you need to say stop really clearly into the mic. OK? And don't say it before I read something out. You can either say it while I'm reading one or just afterwards. Does that make sense? OK. Trying to avoid anything Miracle patient gets in the saddle. Gypsy moth rescued from South Sea Reef. Sweetener is not a cancer risk.
Stop.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sure? Want me to carry on? And carry on if you like. You happy with that page?
Yeah.
OK, all right. There we are. Sweetener is not a cancer risk. Into the mic, please. The page is page...
14.
Page 14. You happy with 14?
Yeah.
Only if you are. Then 14 we'll go with. So, Kirsty, if you stand up for me, you want to pull out page 14 from the Daily Mail. So if you drop everything else, so you're just holding on to the corner of page 14, just literally drop everything else on the floor. You'll probably find it comes out with another page attached to it. That's fine. Great, it does. Do me a favour, tear it down the middle for me, just so you've got 2 separate pages. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you can sort of try and get that relatively clean. Excellent, then just hold out a page in each hand for me, Kirsty. Great, great, lovely, thank you. All right, so look, we only need one or the other, so you're going to either hand one down to the lady on that side or one down to the lady on that side. If you can do that for me. Yeah, whichever one, thank you so much. If that lady could stand, you can sit down for me now, Kirsty. So what page have you got there? The one with 14 on it, or whatever was attached to it? It should probably be 70-something. 13. You got 13 and 14, you got that side. Okay, great. Will you have a look? What's your name, by the way? Melissa. Melissa, will you have a look at both sides for me, Melissa? And you don't need to memorise anything, but just have a look at both sides and get it around the way you'd like to have it, and let me know when you've done that. Yep. And what page is that? What can I see? Hold it up for me like this. I can't. What page am I looking at there? 14. 14. Actually, was the number you said. We've sort of come back to it. But we could have gone either way with either page, and that's fine. Okay, 14 it is then. Melissa, you need to start tearing that up. So if you can turn it landscape for me. Tear it down the middle, put the two halves together, tear them again, put them together, tear them again. So we get a nice pile of papers. Very important, don't drop any. And also, please try not to screw them up, all right? So a nice, neat pile. As you do this... Oh. It's the nail. It starts to hurt about now. As you do this, can you come into the aisle as you do it, please? So keep tearing for me a nice, neat pile of papers, please. Try not to drop any as you do it. Actually, you come right to the front. Keep tearing for me. Keep tearing until you feel you can't tear them anymore, all right? If you can come just down here for me, Melissa, that'll be great. Imagine one more. When you've done it, just hold out half in each hand. That's probably going to be as much. Great, turn to face me. That'll be great. Turn to face me. So look, now what you're going to do, this is the only point. I'm not going to let you change a decision that's made, all right? I'm going to go with Melissa's decision, and I will go with your first decision, all right? When I click my fingers, just as we did back there, you're going to hand to me the half you'd like me to carry on with and the half you'd like me to use. The other half you can drop on the floor or whatever you like, okay? So when I click my fingers, the half that feels right to you, I'd like you to extend to me, and those will be the ones I use. Ready? Here we go. Sure? Okay, so I'm going to take these without dropping any myself. So let me take them like that. Perfect, wonderfully done. Round of applause for Melissa, I think. Thank you very much indeed, Melissa. All right, do you want to take the microphone for me and head over to the table with me, please? Head over the table for me. I'm going to put those there. Can you take a seat for me? Sorry, head over the table and just take a seat there for me. All right. Okay. Now look, we probably, I don't know how many we've got there exactly. If you give me a number between 1 and 10, I'll count off that number of pieces, all right? And again, you can change your mind. As with everything that you choose, you can change, all right? So don't feel committed to it. But into the mic, please, a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to count off that number of pieces that you tell me.
7.
7. Are you happy with the idea of me counting off 7 pieces, or do you want to change the number?
No, I'll stay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will count off 7 pieces. Now, if I do anything other than count off 7 pieces, if I start taking extra pieces or swapping it, anything like that, you must say so into the mic, because you guys can see fairly clearly, but you have the clearest view here, right? You are the eyes of the audience and everybody watching this, all right? And everybody watching this on TV as well. Okay, here we go. I will count off 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, you can see these are all different as I do it. 6, 7. That is the 7th piece I'm removing. All right. Will you do me a favour? Will you please take the next piece for yourself? Okay. I won't even touch it. All right. So I won't, no, take it for yourself. I'm not going to touch it. All right. Okay. Now, you need to have a look at that. You need to choose a word on there. All right. So I'll take the mic from you. Have a look through it. Choose a word. What I want is a nice, long, interesting word on there. All right. Otherwise, all this will have been a bit pointless. Have a good read through it. And then give me a nice, long or interesting word on there that you'd like to go with. One that you can read on there. What are you going to go with? Actually, if you come say this into the mic, basically, if we end up with a word like the or under or whatever, at this point, it will seem a little bit of an anticlimax. So what was that again?
Influential.
Influential. Let's have a look. Okay, that's a very good word. Thank you. Okay, all right. Now, look, for the record, not the only long word on there. We've got overwhelmingly, establishment. There's quite a few, educational, but you're happy with influential, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, if you are, then I am. We'll go with that. That's one word chosen from about 40 on there, but we can certainly see it as one word chosen from about, 2,000 words. It'll be on page 14 of the Daily Mail. It'll have about 2,000 words on it. There'll be about 80 pages in the Daily Mail, so that's 160,000 words just in the Daily Mail, yes? But there were 10 papers that you could have chosen from that were around the room, so that's 1.6 million different words that you had to choose from in this room, and you just, without me exaggerating, and you choose the word influential. Is that fair?
Yeah.
No. No. No, it's not. It is not fair. It's not. It's inevitable. It is not fair. It's inevitable that you chose the Daily Mail right there with Kirsty and didn't want to change your mind. Inevitable you said page 14 and didn't want to change your mind. I was so fair about that. Inevitable, Melissa, that you handed me that half with that word in it. and inevitable that you said to count off 7 pieces and not 3 or just 1 or all 10 or whatever, and that you end up, out of all the long words on there, it was not the only long word on there, correct?
That's true.
Correct? That you chose the word influential. Let me show you why it's inevitable. Open it up. Open it. Good. Okay, you need to hold there for me. Sorry, hold there for me. And one more time into the mic, really loud. The word was?
Influential.
Influential. There it is. Influential. Danny, ladies and gentlemen, well done, Danny. Danny, thank you so very much indeed. Danny, everybody. Actually, wait. Sorry, just a second. You're all intelligent people. If you think that worked, you're going to think about this in the bar. You're going to be having a drink afterwards or driving home or up at 4 in the morning trying to work out how that worked. And you're going to think to yourself, and I'm only saying this because I know I would think this if I was watching it myself, all right? You're going to think, okay, we know you were a fair choice of person because you chose the monkey at the beginning. You caught that and we all took a vote. We were happy with you. And you could have changed your mind with the paper. You could have changed your mind with the page, even down to the word at the end. I was fair about that. So I'd think, well, maybe it didn't make any difference what she chose. If that was it. Maybe all that happened was Magic Boy here switches a bit of paper at the end, hopes she goes for that word or something, and, you know, actually you took the paper yourself. It doesn't really make any sense, but it's easy to think. It's a comfortable thing to think that's what happened. But here's the point. Here's the thing. If that is what happened, and it didn't make any difference what paper you chose or what page and all that was rubbish, then that word influential, it wouldn't really be on page 14 of today's Daily Mail. And it is. It is. And if you get the Daily Mail when you go home, check it. It's in the comment article on the left-hand side of the page. Influential, near the beginning. And if you don't get the Daily Mail, you fucking buy a copy on your way home, check it when you get in. And if you still don't believe me, this is when we open the case within the case that you've had all the way through the show, and the case that was up here on stage with something in it from before we even threw the monkey out, all right? Open it up. What is that?
It's the Daily Mail.
The Daily Mail, take it out for me. Is that the whole of the Daily Mail?
No,
it's just one page inside. What is the page?
It's page 14.
Page 14, take it out for me. And yes or no, is there a word circled in a big red marker halfway down there?
Yeah, it's influential.
Influential, there it is, right there. Page 14, Daily Mail. Page 14, today's Daily Mail, right there. Check it yourselves. Can you get a camera on this? Can you read it? Can you read it, Danny? Thank you so much. I'll let you head back. Danny, everybody. Thank you, Danny. Thank you all. Thanks for coming out tonight. Thank you for packing this place out. Good night. Actually, wait. Can we stop? Hang on. Sorry, can you just sit down again for a second for me? Sorry. You're all intelligent people. If you think that worked just because Danny and Melissa and Kirsty are somehow kind of easy to manipulate, you'd be right, in fact. But only because you all are, that's the point, because you all are. Because that had to work on all of you. Any of you could have caught the papers, any of you could have caught the monkey. It had to work on all of you. Let me explain. The whole of the show, you see, for me, has been kind of about hidden messages. They're the messages in the foyer that made Danny choose a mouse. At the beginning, she had to because of the messages that most of you think of an elephant. And the messages that I've been giving you over the last 2 hours to make you make those decisions, the Daily Mail, page 14, the word influential, you had to, any of you would have done. Let me tell you what I've been doing. We've been filming little bits from the wings, just little clips of the show. And there's a guy called Coops backstage who edits them together and makes a little film, a short film of the show. Let me show you the film from tonight's show. So look, you remember how it started because Danny chose a mouse, she came up, read the thing out, it was a mouse, that was correct, and then she read out, I gave her the briefcase. Now the thing with this, with all of these things, you will remember that I said, or you'll remember, because at the time they trip you up. They make, what did he say? And then you start to forget about them. But if I don't play this to you, you forget to remember. You forget to remember. I'll play this to you, you will remember to remember. Listen, so this is what I said with the briefcase, listen. It's very simple, you get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14. Get a 14 in your head, listen to that again. You get a 14 in your head, you get a 14 in your head. You get a 14 in your head. Danny gets a 14 in her head right from the start. Danny can see peripherally the page numbers of the Times as I'm going through. She doesn't know that she's doing it, but she does, and she stops me on page 14 because it feels right. And I know I can say to her twice, in fact, do you want to change? Do you want to change the page? Do you want to change? She won't, because it feels right, so she won't change. And then we did the line game, and before the line game I said that you should all think of the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Yes? But it's not quite what I said, not the first time. And you'll remember because it would have tripped you up. But you'll remember now when I play this. Listen to what I said. You can all think of, male, the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Listen to that bit again. Just listen to that bit again. Think of, male. Think of, male. Think of Mail. Think of Mail, the Daily Mail, all right? And that was the one, when I was throwing the papers out, and as I came off the stage, I said, Daily Mail. Oh, no, we've had the Daily Mail. I mentioned it. And you went straight for that one, Daddy, because it sticks in your head. And all of you would have done the same thing, straight for that one, the one that I mentioned, the Daily Mail. And then, after the line game, I spoke about there being brochures outside for psychic courses you could go. It's rubbish. There aren't any courses. There aren't any brochures. Don't look for them. They don't exist. But it allowed me to say this. Listen. There are some fantastically expensive courses you can go on to learn psychic powers. And if you choose page £1,400 a week to learn rubbish, then that's up to you. Choose page 14. Choose page 14. Choose page 14. Yes, it's inevitable. And we know it's inevitable because Melissa and Kirsty did the same thing. They did this. Kirsty passed across the 13-14 page. Melissa decides to go with the 14 side, not the 13 on the other side. Inevitable. See, proof. And then, during the line game, I had the first guy come forward. I think Tony was his name. And I spoke about how people give themselves away when they're lying, and I sort of tried to put him on the spot. And you kind of laugh because it's like a little joke, and you laugh at it, but you forget, then you miss what I said just beforehand with this guy, which actually was quite blatant. But listen again. Because of the sorts of unconscious behaviours that we unconsciously choose daily, male subjects tend to get themselves a little bit more away from females. Choose daily, male. Choose daily, male. Choose daily, male. Choose daily, male. You would have done, any of you would have done. She didn't want to change her mind. She didn't want to change her mind. I was so fair. I was so fair about it. And then you go for a drink. You go for a drink, you come back after the drink, I hammer a nail into my nose, and I came to the front of the stage. I don't know what you thought I said at this point. It was just rubbish. It was just rubbish coming out of my face. But listen to it now. Listen to what I said. Do you hammer daily a number 14 male into your head? Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Hammer, you get a hammer? Yeah, hammer, daily. Daily number 14 male into your head. Yes? And then, let me unroll the tarpaulin. I came to the front of the stage and spoke about pain being subjective. And oh God, here's the thing. You all knew the word. You knew it was going to be influential all the way through the second half of the show. You knew it was going to be, but you didn't know that you knew. Because Melissa had to know, because when Melissa was tearing up the paper, you had to tear around that word. You had to keep track of it and tear around it without knowing that's what you were doing, and then know which half to give me. She tore around it. Listen to what I said. Listen. Pain is very subjective. It's a subjective thing. Like when you're young, when you tear around influential, and you cut yourself. You don't realise that you're cut until you look down and you see the blood, and then suddenly it starts to hurt. Tear around influential. Tear around influential. Tear around influential, exactly what you do. You put all that together over the last 2 hours. You put all that together, this is what you've been hearing, without realising you've been hearing it. You get a 14 in your head. Think of male. Choose page 14. Choose daily, male. Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Tear around influential. Tear around influential. 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 That's why it was the Daily Mail. That's why it was page 14, not